echo. So I appreciate you making the extra effort there.
Yeah, well, I had it connected bad, but now I got it working.
HP, sorry, once we go live on Facebook, I just copy the link and post it on my...
J-O-E in the place to be. HB on the track, it's like ecstasy. Rowing a well of 7 years, what we drink and be. Trying to sling the dopest rhymes in the galaxy. Let me take a minute though and relax your mind. Sometimes these words can be hard to find. 24/7 on that daily grind. Hearing voices in my head, man, they not that kind. Cause bitches be bitching, snitches keep snitching. The world keeps turning, and I keep hitching a ride instead of living my life. Yo, 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 yo.
Man, when you feel hungry, don't you have to eat?
Yo, yo, pump up the volume and digest this beat.
RapScallions in the house with this lyrical treat.
When we're done with you, you're gonna ice your feet.
If the world ends tomorrow and you had one chance,
Hey yo, would you start the move like it's your last dance?
yo, do something small in the past and present changes.
Do something now, the future rearranges.
Cause bitches keep bitching.
Yo, snitches keep snitching.
The world keeps turning.
And you start living your life instead of hitching a ride. RapScallions. J-O-E in the place to be. HB on the track, it's like ecstasy. Rowing a well of 7 years, what we drink and be. Trying to sling the dopest rhymes in the galaxy. Let me take a minute though and relax your mind. Sometimes these words can be hard to find. 24/7 on that daily grind. Hearing voices in my head, man, they not that kind. Cause bitches be bitching, snitches keep snitching. The world keeps turning.
Yes, sir.
Welcome everybody. It's Sunday and episode 16. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. I mean, I've been so excited to do this show. We've got some great stories. But first, the weekly RapScallions, Rapping with RapScallions weekly wrap-up. Say that 10 times fast, Joe.
The weekly RapScallions wrap-up. I can't.
The weekly,
I can only do it once.
the weekly
That's it.
Rapping with RapScallions wrap-up. How did your week go? Tell us all about your week, Joe.
Hey, man, I have a couple of thoughts from this week. I'm going to try and keep it brief because I really want us to get into our conversations that we have later on. And, of course, I want to hear about your week as well, HB. But I'm just going to say two quick things that I want the people that are listening to hear. So I think we were all surprised this week when we heard that as of Monday, movie theaters and swimming pools and all these things are opening, but at like 50% capacity. It seems like we're going to like a full opening. Like it's happening. Everything's opening. The economy has to survive. Totally understand that. But just because everything is opening, guys, it doesn't mean that there is no more COVID out there in the streets. So please be safe and wear your masks and, you know, the alcohol on the hands and the social distancing. Because just because the movie theater's open doesn't mean you're not going to get COVID sitting in the movie theater.
While we're talking about it, please be quiet in the movie theaters, please. You know, don't
That's
talk
right.
to people.
And don't throw popcorn at each other either. That's just not nice. And your feet, keep them on the floor. Don't put them on the seat in front of you. That's not nice either. And then my next thing, now that I've gotten that public service announcement out of the way, is the Miami Heat did the unthinkable on Friday night. They beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 6 is tonight. Fingers crossed that we get another miracle, another great game from Jimmy Butler and the guys tonight, hopefully taking it to a Game 7 with the Lakers, man. Game of epic proportions.
I'll help where I can. I'll help.
So yeah, anyways, that's not as important as... Thanks, HB. I appreciate your support. What about you, man? How's your week been?
The week's been pretty busy, you know. The stress of trying to figure out how you know, us as actors, are we going to be working back in theater, and the anxiety involved in that. You know, do I really want to participate in a show? You know, is this going to lead? Is me making money going to lead to me getting sick? You know, so if you're out there, please donate to the RapScallions so that we don't have to go on stage. Just kidding. But RapScallions, seriously, donate to the RapScallions. So this week, it's been pretty busy. You know, we have a very exciting guest this week, so we've been preparing for that, amongst all the other things. And the sheeps and the chicken are doing good. The country's doing good, but it's hot. I'll tell you that, Joe. It's really hot. I'm actually right now, I have an ice pack behind my back because it's really, really, really hot. And also Cable Onda has been doing upgrades to the red. And they said, you will not lose internet, but you have intermitencia. So I don't know what that means, but anyway, enough of that. Joe, when was the last time you swam in the open ocean?
Man, the last time I swam in the open ocean, HB, that must have been at some point in 2009. Maybe in 2000, early in 2020, or maybe early 2019, or maybe it was 1942. I can't remember because it feels like forever. But you know what? I love swimming in the ocean, HB. But you know what I don't love? I don't love it when the water's all dark and murky and I can't see what's going on underneath me, because my imagination goes crazy and I imagine all sorts of like creepy critters just waiting to bite me, man.
You're right, my friend. I do love the open ocean. On other episodes, we talked about where I went to Galapagos and did lots of diving. And I can confirm that it is a world of beauty, my friend. And that brings us to our very special guest who loves to do what most people would consider a nightmare. Michael Bolton, please introduce yourself. You're on.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good to see. Pretty good. Well, my name is Michael Bolton, and I'm an underwater cinematographer and photographer of sharks. Basically, and I swim a lot with the great white.
So, that's just amazing to me. I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm very excited. I have so many questions. Joe's got so many questions, but let's start out with the basics. Who is Mike Bolton? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, who am I? Well, I live in Panama, just like you guys. I came here to Panama when I was 17 years old in the Air Force, and came here and loved the place, just loved it. And of course, I'm still here, so I must have. And I started to dive. I was one day walking down by the YMCA, and I saw a sign that said, scuba diving. Remember, this is 1959. So there wasn't too many people about diving in those days.
Right.
So it was like, I'm going to do this. This is what I got to do. And I started doing it, and here I am.
That's incredible. I mean, back at the old Panama Canal College, the class to take was marine biology because we could walk down from the campus of PCC, Panama Canal College, and get our sand specimens and our water specimens, and then we'd have snorkeling trips out to Boga, the Perlis, and Isla Grande, and things like that. So, I mean, Panama is just a beautiful place to be as far as diving is concerned. You've got both isthmus, so
yeah.
So you fell in love. Yeah.
Well, you remember in those days, it was like, I don't know, was you around when they had you wasn't around when they had the ferry, of course.
Not the ferry.
The cross there by the
Yeah.
There was no bridge.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was there in those days when you had to put your car and go across on a ferry across the canal to get on the other side of over there by Parfan.
The old Thatcher Ferry.
And that's it. That's it, right down by the college.
That was we walked right past the old pilings there when we went to do our soil samples to do our studying, and that's what my love of diving. Well, I didn't dive per se. I snorkeled here in Panama quite a bit, and then that led me to Galapagos. We went down to the Galapagos and we studied there with Jack Peterson. But enough about me. How did you transition from your love of coral and fish and spear fishing and fishing and whatnot to what you do now? I mean, how can you walk us through the process of where that actually captured your creative attention?
Sure. Well, back in 1959, 1960, I would say really 1960 is when it started getting more wet, getting in the water, moving around. In those days, it wasn't, the only thing that was really exciting was spearfishing. We didn't do underwater photography, underwater videos and cameras and stuff. All that stuff came later. It was only people like Jacques Cousteau with these very heavy primitive cameras did this type of work. So actually for young people like me, it would go out and shoot a fish, and you're aware of that, how that works in Panama. We have a lot of spear fishermen. And I guess I could say I got good at it. And I represented Panama for 3 to 4 years. I can't remember exactly. As representing Panama, an international spearfishing tournament, and we used to have tournaments here every year. When people come in from everywhere, from Brazil, Italy, U.S., Peru, anywhere you can think about. I mean, really, as far as Europe, we even had people from Japan, Japanese people who come in for our international tournament. And these were mostly held in Cantarola. And then we'd have national tournaments. They were held in Toboga and all that. But anyway, I represented Panama, and I actually went to Cuba as well when Castro was invited to go there to be part of a represented Panama team. And okay, that was my thing.
I've got a question for you, if I can interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
You've got a few shout outs to do. Visu Film PTY says the legend, and Life Changing 96 asks, he used to dive with Jerry Coffey, right?
Jerry Coffey was my buddy.
The spearfishing legend from the zone.
Jerry Coffey, man. He was spearfishing legend. I'll tell you about that. Now, we used to compete, and Jerry was great. I mean, for part of the spearfishing, but he represented the zone, and I represented in Panama. So we competed.
Oh, excellent.
Huh? How interesting.
That's great.
And everybody will tell you that we cheated a few times, but that was, Panamanians always get the bad rap, But but Jerry, I dived with Jerry. I used to dive with Jerry a lot, man. I respected him. We used to fight a lot, man. We'd be Jerry Coffey. He was a dynamic guy. He was always like, rah, rah, rah. He was way or no way, one beer and that was it. Always beer in the hand. But I love Jerry, and it's sad he's not here.
Yeah. So you were representing Panama in several international spearfishing things, and you had some success in that, and that's kind of how you got your thrills underwater then at the time.
Yeah, I got my thrills, and basically that was it. I mean, I used to dive around, look for some shipwrecks, stuff like that. But in those days, nobody really cared about that, So it was like more spearfishing, and we used to run into sharks all the time, man. I mean, I was out with Jerry one time, and Jerry was always. We were out in the Perlas. I remember I think we were out by right off of Elefante, and I think it was by Elefante somewhere. And there were so many sharks around, and we shot a lot of fish. And I was in the water, and I'd shot a fish. And I was coming to the boat. Damn, man, this fish grabbed my big snapper I had there and just ripped it off. And he's pulling me down, And I get to the boat, and I put up my gun. I said, Jerry. Jerry was sitting on the thing. I said, Jerry, sharks, man. And I jumped in, and Jerry said, sharks. I jumped in the water. Boom. I got in the boat, and he jumps over me. He hits the water, and he says, turns around his calm way. Jerry was always calm, And he looks up, and he said, take my gun. I said, what? Sharks. I said, I told you. Right out of the boat. So, we were in that moment, I mean, we would anchor, we'd put out shark lines at night with the fish that we'd shot, and bring in these big tigers, and boom with power heads, and it was a time, and I think in our lives we have to say thanks to God or thanks to whatever we evolve. You evolve into a better person. These things. Not proud of what you did, but it was a moment. And when Jaws came out, that was even crazier. I mean, I remember sitting in the movie actually with Jerry Coffey, Al Sprague, myself, Harry Raymond, a group of us, and we all went to the movies and sat down. Remember that old theater in Bella Vista?
In Bella Vista?
Used to be in Bella Vista on the corner.
I don't think I ever went to that one.
Bella Vista Theater.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Down in Caledonia, actually. Off of Petty Easy. And around the corner, nobody. Anyway, we went to see that movie, Jaws. Man, when I walked out of that place, I was saying, dude. No, wait a minute. Sorry, don't wait. Wait.
Rewind.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old. I'm telling you, I'm getting too old. No, it was a movie called Blue Water, White
Okay,
Death.
yes. And that's
And
that
that was
inspired.
that's the Jaws followed that. Yeah, the Jaws followed that. But that was a documentary, and it was in the theaters, and that scared the living
Yeah.
out of me. And I said, my God, we're going back in with great white sharks and stuff. I mean, going diving with sharks. Thank God there's no great whites here. But we had enough bulls and big tigers and stuff, you know. And so that just made us want to kill them more. You know, it was like, hey, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a moment. It was a moment.
I've got a question
And,
for you. Back in the day in the canal zone, like if you went swimming, they had the big shark nets out. And I know the Bay of Panama used to be the biggest breeding ground for hammerheads in the Western Hemisphere.
Really?
Yeah,
The Bay of Panama. Wow.
Yeah,
that's no idea.
Was there when you were growing up in Panama in the canal zone, was there a lot of shark attacks or do you remember? Or, 'cause
No, I've only really heard of a couple of shark attacks besides me. And no, only a couple of shark attacks actually I've heard about. And that was actually in the pergolas. One was a fisherman, and he was standing up and come in, and they were at the beach or at the where they come in with a bongo, taking the fish out and filleting the fish on the beach and out in the pergolas. And this was back in the '60s, and he was up to his waist in water, and a bull shark grabbed him. But I mean, you know, that's crazy. You know, you're asking for it.
Well, for
So,
those
and you get
for
back
those who don't know, back in in Amador, where La Playita is now, there used to be big shark nets, and the same on the Atlantic side. They had shark nets across those public beaches, and you know, I grew up towards of the tail end of the canal zone, so I remember those shark nets being there, and we'd go out there and swim through the big holes that they had in them. So,
well, you know, for a while, I was one of the guys who was it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Allocated to fix those nets, and we would go out and we would fix them, and we would prowl the outside to see if there's any sharks being caught in the nets or anything, you know, out of Amador.
okay.
Were
But
there
I
a
do
lot of
know
sharks
the ones
caught?
on the Atlantic side.
Were there a lot of sharks caught on those nets in La Playita and in those areas?
You did. We got a lot of sharks come in there with bull sharks.
Right.
Bull
Yeah.
sharks are
I remember going to La
bull
Playita.
sharks on the outside of the Ricos.
the bull sharks are pretty
And the
aggressive.
hammerheads still exist here. We have a big serious problem with hammerheads. Which maybe another day or later we can talk about it. About the thousands and thousands of hammerheads that are being slaughtered every year here in Panama because of the migration. You know, this migration you're talking about in Panama, this migration actually starts in the Galapagos.
Wow,
And
Right.
comes down through Coiba and comes to Panama
incredible.
in the Bay of Panama. Yeah, and here they give pups, live pups, or live what do you call it? Live
Live birth.
they give live birth. Yeah, to their pups that end up in the mangrove where they spend their first year or so in the mangroves. And the fishermen are just really just fishing them out. I mean,
Yeah.
they're easy to catch, and you see so many of these in the markets of thousands and thousands of baby hammerheads.
Is there any legislation
You know,
against
it's really-
fishing sharks in Panama? None
No.
at all.
Yeah, that's a problem. We are working on that right now. I'm working with the director of ARAP, Torrijos, and we've been working with that with several different other groups, with Marviva and Smithsonian and Shark Defenders, myself, and you know, trying to find ways to solve the problem or squash the problem. But you may have saw on TV a month or so ago where the fishermen were out just giving hell about the shark, about us trying to stop the shark fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, But it's a serious problem. I mean, if you go there, if you see thousands of these baby hammerheads just with their tails cut off, the fins cut off, and just a little body. And these are mostly being used for, believe it or not,
Yeah.
ceviche.
Cazón, they call it, right?
And yeah, exactly. A cazón. But if you go and you say ceviche de pescado, it's probably baby hammerhead.
No
If
way.
you say ceviche de corvina, then go for it. But a lot of people don't put corvina because they say, if I get a complaint, it's not corvina, then I say, no, it's pescado.
Right.
And that's baby hammerhead. And you can tell. I mean, I can tell very easily. But, it has a lot of toxic in the meat. It's toxic. It has a lot of mercury in the meats, and it has a lot of ammonia. Yeah, exactly. In the skin, because the shark urinates through the skin.
Okay.
And so when they urinate through the skin, that's how they get rid of urine. And so the skin is very, very smelly, a very toxic smell. And it gets into the meat. But they have a way of you can wash it in a Clorox with a water mixture and soak it where it comes out fluffy, little fluffy, and it takes out the smell, and they chop it up into little pieces for ceviche. And that's just how they do it. And surprisingly, the chloro doesn't make a bad taste in the
Hey,
fish.
your friends, Shark Defenders Panama, have tuned in. They're
Yeah.
here, and they say Playa
Yes.
Kobe had a net too, and also Kelly says Panama also used to be a megalodon nursery. I have a story about that. One of my friends
right.
gave me
That's
a
right.
petrified megalodon tooth, and he said that the Indians call that MBDB, which is lightning's toenail.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Mike's got two toenails
Yeah.
from lightning. Two lightning toenails.
There we go. Let's have it right here.
There you go.
Kind of.
They would call those
incredible.
lightning toenails because they would find those petrified teeth in the mud flats, and during a thunderstorm,
Yeah,
and
true.
during a thunderstorm, the thunder would hit the mud flats, and then they would go and find the petrified teeth there. So they call them lightning's toenail. I always thought that was very interesting.
Wow, very cool.
You can see here, look at these over, look at the millions of years, and it's still,
Still sharp.
I don't know if you can see that, still sharp.
Yeah. Still looks
You
sharp,
can
yeah,
see
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can cut yourself with it. Here's
Watch out, Mike. Don't cut yourself.
Oh, and if I bleeding, the shark will get me. Here's a, here's
Unpetrified.
yeah, here's a great white.
Incredible.
And here's,
It's incredible.
and here's the big megalodon. Let's see that. Yeah.
Incredible.
That is insane.
So how big is the great white that used to have that tooth in it? What's
Yeah,
your
did you pull
estimate
it
of
out
how big
yourself?
that is?
Actually, this is a pretty big great white. This is about a 16-footer, probably 16 to 18-foot great white.
So a 16-footer would probably clock in at how much weight-wise?
60. What size?
Like a 16-footer would probably weigh how much?
Over 2,000 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot
Good
of
grief.
animal.
Over
And you've been in the
2,000.
water. You've been in the water with 16 with great whites this big, right?
Well, I've been in water with sharks up to 21.
Oh
No
my
way.
21-foot great whites. I mean, your jaws.
Wow.
And pushing 38,000 pounds, close to 4,000 pounds.
That's 2 tons of shark right there. Incredible.
It's
Jeez.
not the length that you look at. It's the girth.
Yeah.
When you look at that girth coming straight at you like that, like a torpedo, you're looking at something that has. Yeah.
The mouth. I mean, that thing was
Oh,
all mouth.
The mouth would be, I mean, twice as big.
Incredible.
Those teeth just come out like that.
I mean, you just
Good
you know
grief.
that you're with an apex right there. That's the top of the line.
That's it. That is apex predator. And when you
Wow.
see that animal, I mean, you probably saw. I don't know if you looked up the movie called Deep Blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that shark. saw that shark twice in my history of diving Guadalupe.
Wow.
And she's enormous.
Incredible.
I mean, 20, 21. She's enormous.
That's incredible. Well, we started jumping into these stories, and they're very exciting.
Yeah, we got
to
back
take
up,
a couple steps back. How did you transition from mending shark nets and representing Panama into this love and career?
Spearfishing, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, here we go. All right, I got out to Coiba. I was asked to go out to Coiba to help build a fishing lodge there. It was called Club Pacifico. And I was asked to go out there by the General Omar Torrijos. And that was in 1969 or 1970, right after the Golpe de Estado. Must have been maybe 1971. So there's a big gap in there, my life. It's just too much to talk about in there. There's more stories there, but we'll jump from one jump at the tournament to get to there. But I was actually working out in Cantadora. We were building Cantadora. Cantadora had just got off of the ground, and that was purchased by Gabriel Luis Galindo.
Right.
And I was asked to go out there, and I went out there and helped them to. I was a pilot, so I flew and I dove and Indiana Jones. It did everything.
Right.
And I had crazy times. I was just, I didn't think that I could die. I was like, I had no fear of anything. It was like insane. And so I went out there and we were doing Cantadora, and we had prisoners working there on Cantadora with MOP, Ministerio República, building the roads, the runway, blah, 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 putting the island together, okay, and selling off lots. I wasn't, Gabriel Luis and Omar Torrijos and a group of people doing that. So anyway, I knew Omar, and I got along with him very well, even though I had long hair and gringo, and my Spanish was really bad. I got along good with him. We just clicked with each other. We liked each other, and he was one of my great friends. But anyway, he said, Mike, Gringo, no, he called me Gringo, Gringuito. So Gringuito, I want you to go out to Coiba. I said, where's that? Because I had never been there. And but I had heard about it, and he wanted to do this club that they're building. And he said, I'm going to give you all the support with this other gringo that's coming in from the States, and he's got all this stuff and blah, blah. You got to get together. But I want you there watching over my parts. Anyway, get a long story short, I went there. We started building these prefabs. They started bringing in people to go fishing and blah, blah. This is over a 2-year period. And I used to dive and work and dive and work and dive and work. And I had Coiba for myself. Nobody that I knew had ever dove Coiba or Montosa or Hannibal Bank or Jicaron, Jicarita, Contreras, all of these islands that around Coiba, because one thing, it was too far from Panama in the early 70s. It's a long way to bring a boat, even from David, and from the port of in David, whatever it is. It was too far. To come out to Coiba, you had to bring a lot of gas, and there was nowhere to get gas. So I stayed there doing that. But then I just sort of got tired of shooting the fish. I was shooting fish every now and then, and there was so much fish, and I just wanted to do something. And all of a sudden, it came to me about taking pictures to show people, film and stuff. Was
this before or after you saw that documentary, Deep Blue White?
Oh, it was after. Oh, long time after that. Blue Water White Death. Yeah. So, no. Actually, let me think. Yeah, I just saw that. Actually, you're right. Sorry, HB. Getting back to that, you're right. My mind's getting ahead of me. Exactly. That was 1971 because I just saw that movie. And when I got to Panama, when I got to Coiba, I said there has to be great whites here. Nobody's ever been there. You're right. It was right after that. So yeah, I was out there and I had the whole aquarium myself, and I said, man, this is time to do pictures. And actually influenced, because what you're saying, it was influenced by seeing these movies with Water White Death and saying, man, I could do something like this. So I started doing that with an old Nokonis 35 millimeter camera, Nokonis 1, I think, or something like that. And then I want to do video. So I said, how do I do video? So I got an old Kodak K100, one you had to crank up, you know. And you put it in this housing. It was an old Al Giddings housing. And you would put it in and you get 3 minutes off a 16 millimeter roll.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. And an Ektachrome 86, I think it was 60, 86 Ektachrome, what it was. And you know, no instructions, nothing, just point it at a fish, put it at a shark, and start filming it, you know? And then when I had this little 3 minute roll, I would have a bunch of them. You know, I'm living in Korea, I can't take it down anywhere. I would have to wait to get it to Kodak. Kodak couldn't develop locally because it was too high of an Ektachrome. It was 86, a new Kodak film. So they couldn't do it here. So they had to send it out to the States and get it back. So the time I saw that 3 minute roll of several, 3 or 4 maybe, you know, they were really bad. Really bad.
Not like today, huh?
So maybe you get just a few, you get a few seconds. So maybe I started doing that, and then I got a crazy idea of diving with billfish by myself. And I used to go out and this is crazy. I used to go out on an open boat, outboard motor boat, and I would throw behind the boat what we call a daisy chain. A daisy chain is a bunch of squid that has no hook. Okay. And I would go very slowly in the boat. You know, we get all these sailfish coming behind, you know, grabbing at it, going at it, the sharks coming underneath of it. And I was by myself. And I would just put the boat real slowly, drop it in neutral, put my mask, you know, have my mask, my camera, over the side, and I would just drift back into this daisy train, filming these sailfish.
Incredible.
Insane. They would come by, and I was filming, and I would have to grab onto the daisy chain to hold me because the current was pushing me, the boat going away, and I'm holding on to one of the chain, the lines, and filming these sailfish, and they're right up on you. They're not afraid of you at all. And then the sharks coming underneath them. You used to get a lot of these big, they're not really oceanic white tips. They're large reef white tips, which are big. They are ocean. They are a pelagic white tip, but a little bit different than the big oceanics, you know. But there's a lot of them, and there's one that tear marlin to pieces. And so they were coming up. I mean, I would boom, and I would push them off. I was filming them, you know, and my boat's just drifting away. You know, I mean, that's craziness. So the company. So
you literally got into filming sharks. You just jumped in the water, and you just did it.
Jumped in the water. Yeah. You know, I thought I was back watching Blue Water White Death. You know, I was putting myself in the movie.
So I mean, is there a difference in the amount of sharks that you see back then and the amount of sharks you see now?
But let me continue real quick. Is that I got a company called ABC Wild World of Sports out of Field and Stream, the old Field and Stream magazine, and they put my picture on the cover.
Wow.
Of me underwater with a sailfish, and I had actually grabbed the sailfish by the beak and had him under my arm. And I reached down and grabbed him, and he like tore me to pieces. And I'm holding the camera, and I'm filming this thing, and he's tearing me up. I mean, insane. I mean, he could have wrapped me up. But anyway, they got it, and I had it on Field and Stream magazine, and then ABC Wild World of Sports. They said, man, listen, we're sending down a fishing team, and we want to catch marlin and sail, and we want you to film it underwater. I said, let's do it. Magic.
Incredible.
And that's how I started.
Wow. Well, Mike, just on that, we actually have a couple more shout outs on Instagram. Becky Bolton, she takes, well, first of all, Visu Film said, he asked, what's the size, he or she asked, what size were the megalodons? They were massive. I don't know the size.
The biggest, okay, there's two types of megalodons. You know
I
that.
didn't know that.
Oh man, it's a female and a male.
Ah. I was like the extra big one and the extra big one.
Chocolate fry.
The females are the big ones, though,
Yeah.
right?
Right. These megalodon females. Okay, they have estimated that megalodon females up to 60 feet. That's over 20-something meters.
Whoa.
The male would go up in an area of 40 meters. So there was a 20-meter difference in the male and the female
Wow.
group. Who takes charge in those days?
Wow.
Incredible.
Man. I don't
So
want to go
that
down
was
with
the
those.
thing. This is what they say. I mean, I wasn't around to see that. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you what I read.
Wow. That's a good answer for me.
Yeah. Well, people out there, they say to me, I believe the megalodon exists. I said, you do? Yeah, I said, do you? I said, no. They said, but I think it does. I said, well, don't go in the water again.
Yeah, that would be a very small treat for a megalodon.
Oh
You
my
know-
gosh.
You know, I was out in Coiba one time. I was off of Montosa, an island. Really, one time was the wildest fishing spot in Panama. It was so far that nobody could get there. You heard about
Yeah.
Montosa? East of Montosa? Okay, now it's rotten. But I was there when, I can tell you for sure, without a question, that I was the first person to ever put a flipper in that water. And my God. HB, Jose, I'm telling you, you have no idea what I was looking at. It was so incredible that it was just like, I mean, it's just, you can't explain it.
Untouched,
And I'm by
untouched
myself.
nature.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Patago in there, cuberas. There were by in schools of them. There were over 100 pounds apiece. And there's so many that you couldn't see through them. You'd go diving down. And I'm free diving. I'm going down, and these big cuberas. And I was, how you say, whatever.
Yeah.
Scared shit out of me. There was so many. I mean, you just think it, that you could, if they wanted to bite you, a big
Yeah.
cubera, if people know what a cubera looks like, and you're looking at over 100-pound cuberas, they got teeth that make any dog look, and you got hundreds just coming at you, looking at you, coming up in your face and everywhere. And it was insane. I mean, they didn't know what you were. And I was there one day, and I just got in the water, and I looked out, and it was beautiful clear that day. I remember very well. And I looked out, and I saw this thing coming toward me very easily, but it was way, way out. And I looked at it, and I looked back at it again, and I just, whoa, what is this? And then it got, not far enough, but enough close, and then turned sideways on me and went across. And I will say today that I think that was a great white or a very, very large mako.
Wow.
Because in those days, I wasn't a shark specialist. I could not really tell the difference, but I know sharks. But either a point nose, it was like a torpedo, and it was so big. But it just come in and turned sideways on me and followed me for a bit and took off. But yeah.
Wow. Mike, that takes me to my next question, all right? But first, shout out to Eloy Benedetti, who was tuned in. It was his birthday recently, so happy birthday. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Eloy.
birthday!
Thank you for joining us. I have this question for you, Mike, and it's on, okay, we're hearing these amazing stories, and we've seen all these pictures and videos of you, HB, and I, when we were doing our research, and I think, like we've heard, you get up close and personal with a bunch of different creatures, Have you ever felt scared? Or if you were scared, how did you overcome the fear? What what was it that drove you forward and said, you know what, I got this. I'm gonna hang off of this thing by myself and film these these fish.
It's like an alcoholic. It's every day, day at a time. But yeah, you know what? I sort of found the secret. My lovely daughter Paula, which you guys know. She's a yoga instructor, and she's helped me out so much in my life for many years and lead me in the right direction, as I hopefully led her in that right direction. But she got me into meditation and, a lot of things. I'm not really a yoga guy that does all these tricks and shit, but I do a lot of meditation and so forth that she taught me. So me, I think what it is when I'm going to go dive with the sharks, of course, you always have the fear. Because if there's 50 things that can go wrong, there's 100 that will. You never know what can go down if you're in a shark shoot. If you're out shooting sharks and everything, you got somebody watching your back, you have your shooting, or it's you can never know what can happen, because sharks are like dogs, are unpredictable. But what I found to do is to sort of, before I go in and dive, is to take my camera gear, after all the crazy talking and laughing and joking like we're doing right now, is just go to my corner and put my camera here, put my stuff on, and just sort of meditate and think.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? What would I do? What are the things I think? What I'm going up against? And to put your head clear that when you go in that water, it's not that nothing can happen, because it can. And that's how I overcome the fear. But the fear is, once you hit that water, all of your concerns, you're not in yesterday, you're not in tomorrow.
You're in the moment.
You're at the present, man. Your mind zoomed in, everything is going around you. And you got 20 or 15 or 10 or 9 or 2 big great whites, which 2 big great whites count up for 10 smaller ones. I mean, you have all of this right now, and that's where you focus. And the fear just goes away, and the knowledge takes over from the fear. I had a guy diving with me once. I'll tell this quick story because I know you guys want to go to bed and get off of this.
Yeah, we got lots of questions for you.
It was, I was doing a shoot off of the Bahamas, and we were shooting with these oceanic whitetips. And the oceanic whitetip is called a Longinus. Carcarius longinus. Longinus is a very aggressive, mean shark. Okay? He's been contributed to more shark attacks when sharks sink, like the Indianapolis, that eat all these people, these soldiers.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Were all oceanic, were all oceanic whitetips, because they're really attracted to this type of thing. They're like a pack of dogs. And if you go to some of my stuff, you see me swimming them and pushing them off everywhere. You'll get 15, 20 of these animals around you. Some of them get up to 1,000 pounds, big ass animals. And anyway, we were going to dive, and the guy, we were going to shoot. The guy said, "Oh, we got this French guy that's coming in, and he wants to go out on the shoot. Says he's dove with oceanics in the Mediterranean." And I said, "Really?" Well, I mean, I don't care. It don't bother me, And this was a Red Bull Outdoor Channel shoot for Red Bull, the Outdoor Channel. And they said, anyway, the guy gets in there and he jumps. I could see him getting the cameras ready and everything, and he was like nervous. I could see the shakiness of getting, not camera, just getting his stuff. And I was watching this, and I'm saying, this guy's not ready for this, And it was pretty rough too. It was rough. The stern of the boat was coming way out of the water, and underneath we had like 50 oceanic whitetips in 2,000 feet of water.
Wow.
Drift.
Holy crap.
Everything comes out there. We're drifting at 60 feet in 2,000 feet of water with a current that's just pushing. You don't feel it because you're just going and you're filming. The sharks are going with you. And the only thing we got is a big ass buoy that's going with us with a line with a big box of frozen fish that they can't eat because we don't feed them. It just keeps them around, the oil. So it's just going with us, and we're going. But anyway, he said, well, you know, what? And then his question was to me, what do I do if I get in and I don't feel right? I said, "Dude, let me tell you something. You get in the water and you're not prepared, it's too late. There's no getting out because the shark will pick up on you like this, and they'll be on you like now, because the heartbeat, the electrical field that goes out of any human or any animal, any fish, boom, shark's going to pick up on it right now.
Really?
Your
So if
body-
you went to the water,
By
if you went in the
heartbeat,
water,
it's right. Yeah,
The-
exactly.
I-
Heartbeat. Got to the heartbeats.
I was able to dissect a shark when I was studying marine biology, and the whole front of their nose, when you cut the nose open, it has little gel pockets. They look like little teardrops of jello, and those are all nerve endings. So when they're swimming through the water,
Right.
they're able to sense things that we can't sense: electromagnetic fields,
Right.
heartbeats, maybe even things that we don't even know about. So and those are lined all up in the front of the nose.
Well, this is why that when we have a shark that he's getting a little bit aggressive with you, he's coming around. You know, the basic thing is not really trying to manhandle a shark or to touch him. I'm not agree with that at all. I see these movies of guys rolling sharks and playing with sharks and stuff, that kind of stuff. I don't do that. I don't think it's right. Some of my friends do it, but I just said, yeah, whatever. But the thing is to hit that nose, is to grab it, push the nose down and away. To come down. Because that nose is so sensitive. And when you touch that, their eyes will close. They have like a membrane that comes over the eye because they're so protective of their eyes. So if you touch that nose, they'll just go into a trance. A lot of times they'll just go into a trance and close their eyes, and you know, because it's so sensitive to them.
Yeah.
But it will push them away. You know, you just push their nose, push them away. You never want to try to push up, because if you push up on the nose, again, their eyes roll back, or no, not roll back, but the membrane comes over the eye, and their mouth opens, and they will get into a trance. And if you let go, somebody grab your arm, grab your hand, because the mouth opens. Immediately when you do that, the mouth will open. So the thing is to push them down and away from them, like a toro, you know, like a bullfighter.
Yeah.
And push them to
I've
the
got a
side.
question for you.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got a question for you. Like, we've talked a lot about fear and things like that, but what would the world be like if there were no sharks in it?
Got it. Oh my God. I mean, first of all, the sharks play such an important role in our oceans and even in our oxygen levels in the air that we breathe, because they make a balance of the ocean, a balance of the seas. We're taking off large. I mean, sharks eat up a lot of, we say, dead, injured animals, weak animals, dead animals, that would contaminate our oceans. And also you have sharks that feed. For instance, you'll have the great white. The great white will feed on seals. That's his main food source, the seals. Now just imagine if there was no seal supply. I mean, if there was no great whites that killed seals, eat seals, you would have such an overpopulation of seals. It would just take over. I mean, they would just take over everything. We have to kill them and get rid of them. Then you have the hammerhead sharks. The hammerhead sharks, they feed on a lot of stingrays and rays. And there's a lot of rays out there. And if they didn't feed on these rays, then the crustaceans, because you have so many, like coral, not coral, but yeah, a lot of corals.
Crabs and snails and
Like lobster, crab, yeah, small crustaceans in the oceans that these stingrays eat. Imagine if those stingrays would take over, they would eat up everything on the reef. The reef would die.
Right.
Because they keep that balance in there. You have the nurse shark that does the same. They keep that balance, and without them, the reefs change. I have seen this in areas where there were sharks, and the reefs have died.
So
It's completely almost died because all the living little creatures are gone, and there's a lot of stingrays. I got pictures like stingray pushing them out of the way. Hundreds and hundreds of stingrays. I said, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? I'm not talking about like manta rays or leopard rays or the ones that swim in mid-ocean. These are the ones that lay on the ground in the mud. And you see so many of them. When you fly over, you can see them. They look like doormats.
Yeah.
In the area where there was a reef before, really.
Yeah.
And they have eaten because the reef.
Do the rays have any other natural predators? Just the
No.
sharks.
It's a shark. And basically, the hammerhead is being killed off by the thousands.
We've got a question from Susie
So-
Andres. Are certain shark species more protected by law than others?
Well, this is a problem that I just put out a video on my Instagram. It happened in Brazil. And this is a thing that has been discussed with several people about protecting the hammerhead. Okay, they say, okay, you can't fish hammerhead, but you can fish bull sharks, and you can fish makos, and you can fish everything else. But how do you catch the sharks? How are the bigger, mature sharks caught? They're caught on long lines. Long lines have no distinction
Yeah.
of what kind of shark grabs it. So, if you're like the film that I put on the Instagram, the captain, when he was talking, and I tried to translate it, what he said is that if they're afraid to bring that shark in because it's illegal, they take the sharks that are protected and they're dead and throw them over to the side dead, or cut their fins off and throw them back.
Yeah.
And keep the ones that
They're allowed to.
are permitted to kill.
So they keep the ones that they kill,
Exactly.
and then so that they're not identified, they'll get rid and completely waste the dead ones, and also cut off their fins so that they can't be identified when they come to port. So, all in all, it's a law that
Well, not all, not excuse me, not all fins. They count the fins. They do that, but they think they can get away with it because a lot of the fin trade. When you start asking these fishermen, but I don't see the fins. Where's the fin? You're selling fins, and they laugh and they tell you, yeah, we sell the fins, big money, no? But then you say, where are the fins? Who buys the fins? The Chinaman.
yeah.
Who's the Chinaman?
Yeah, where's this guy at?
Yeah.
And I said, who's in there? But that's exactly the word they use. And they all just laugh, the Chinaman.
Wow.
So this is the problem. But they supuestamente, if you would bring in the fins to the port, the fins, the tails, the fins, we can tell what shark that was. Okay, so that is a giveaway. But what they do is, anyway, they're going to set it before it gets to the port, probably outside somewhere in the ocean. These guys pick up all these fins. Because the law in Panama is that there's no law against fishing sharks, but the shark must be brought in with these fins.
Okay.
Right.
Okay? Now, we've seen this now recently with the sharks in one area with no fins and buckets full of fins at the same time. So they go in there, they will say, hey, here's the shark, there's the fins, they're together.
Yeah.
Está
Yeah.
complicado.
Yeah. They're
Sí.
juega vivo mentality of getting around the law.
Wait,
Pega vivo, pega vivo,
We've
pega
got-
vivo. So,
We've
yeah,
got
that's the problem.
7 minutes left on Instagram, but we're going to keep rolling on YouTube and Facebook Live. Instagram only gives us an hour. We've got a lot of cool people tuned in on Instagram. Make sure that you find us on Facebook, scallions.rap. We're going to keep talking. Let's give Mike another question, and the people on people on Instagram can hear more of this fascinating conversation. So we talked about how the sharks are apex animals. You have a documentary coming out, don't you, with a similar title?
Yeah, we're working on one actually. One has just been put out. It's called Apex Survival Maiden Voyage, and that was produced by my good friend Jake Jordan, and starring my really lovely friends Ocean Ramsey and Warren Oliphant, and a couple of other people in the movie. You got Mike Rudson, also Tanya Van Dam. So this is already out already out right now. It's on Amazon Prime. You can get it on Amazon Prime. I think you can also get it on Vimeo Feed or something like that now. Tremendous. It won several awards. It's a tremendous program. And so this is a program that's supposed to, I think, have 9 episodes. Jake's is there somewhere. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong, Jake's. He's a producer. So if he's watching, I think it's 9, I think. So the second one we plan to do in Panama. It's going to be done Panama, of Apex Survival, Panama. And what we plan to do is to do a story about the hammerhead fishing. And it'll continue off into the Galapagos, back to Panama, when the hammerheads are being tagged in Galapagos, coming down through Coiba to the Bay of Panama. And so, unfortunately, where most of them are disappearing.
Yeah.
These are satellite tags that follow all of these pregnant females,
Right.
all the way down from Galapagos and then into Panama. Beep, they go off they go off because of the fishing that's going on locally, catching all of these hammerheads. So we're working to do that and work with the local fishermen to convince them that a live shark is worth more than a dead shark, and that we can help them to, if they'll help us with these tracking devices and not kill the sharks, maybe just get the device and let the sharks go, or if they're accidentally killed anyway, let us have access to the
information on the tag.
the satellite tracking device. Yeah, and then we can get that information. So yeah, this will help them in a way. We'll be doing this, but we'll also be doing the area of San Blas. We'll be doing the area of Bocas. We're doing the Perlas and Coiba, all about different sharks, the cultures of islands, the life of turtles, what's going on with turtles and so forth in Bocas. And so it's been really nice. I mean, it'll also be with Ocean Ramsey, Juan, and Tanya as well. And then we'll have some local talent as well. We have Yehudi Rodriguez, which is the head of Shark Defenders here in Panama, which she's a marine biologist, very capable young lady. I've worked with her. She's the best of the best when it comes to knowledge of sharks, especially the younger hammerheads. She's really dedicated.
She's left us.
I took her to Guadalupe to see the
She's
great
left
white.
us a comment. Shark Defenders Panama says, in tropical fisheries, it is difficult to regulate shark fishing as it comes as bycatch in artisanal and industrial fisheries. Studies are required to apply good regulations, and that is a problem. Okay, guys, we have 1 minute left on Instagram. Please join us. I put a
byproducts. Okay, byproducts real quick. Dog food, cosmetic.
That's where it's going. Join us on Facebook. I've put the link in our Instagram chat, and we're going to talk more about the byproducts. We're going to talk more of these fantastic stories from Mike, and we're going to put some pictures up and have him explain what was going on when these pictures were taken. We've got some great snapshots. Make sure you join us over at Facebook or YouTube. I put the link on, and I invite you to join us over there. Mike, let's keep rolling with some of these great stories. You were just mentioning artisanal and bycatch. I think when I studied marine biology, we were more focused on marine iguanas and turtles, and the long line keeps coming up over and over again. The long liners. Can you explain to us, who don't know that much about what a long line is and how it affects the life in the ocean?
Yeah, sure, HB. Well, you're a marine biologist. That's great to know. I mean, man, you probably know more. You know more about me about
That was
scientific stuff
that
more
was
than
many
me. You know?
many mango seasons ago. I think I've you've forgotten more than I've ever learned. I think.
Many mango season. I heard that in a while. Well, yeah.
The long
was the
lines.
question?
Can you explain to us the long lines and
Long lines.
Oh, yeah,
how it
long
affects
lines.
the sharks in the ocean and whatnot?
Yeah. Well, long lines are probably the number one killer of our sharks worldwide. Not only in Panama, but worldwide. And these longliners are ships. If people don't know what they are, they're usually Orientals. They're doing this, and they have these large ships with miles and miles and miles of line in every 50 meters or so, or maybe less. There's a large hook with a piece of meat, and it hangs. And they do miles of this in an ocean where there's currents and where there's known to be a large movement of fish. Not only are they catching the sharks, but they're catching the billfish, which a lot of marlin will go for it as well. So they will lay these lines out for miles and miles and miles on a big spool, on big ships. Then they will bring them, and then they'll go back and will pull these lines in after a day, 24 hours in the water. When you pull them in, you find all of these dead sharks, dead marlin, also even porpoise, because they will grab a bait. Sometimes they're not as smart as, I guess to be smart ones, they'd be dumb ones, as we say. But they will grab it, and so you also have that. And actually, we've even had turtles hooked on long lines. They'll go up and take it, they'll try to hit it and hook into the fins or whatever. So they bring in everything they can bring it in. And they will take all of these tons and tons and tons of shark and put it on their boats, and they will chop up fins, chop up everything, degut it, take everything. And then they also have a big mothership that's out there waiting. And they'll pack these big, giant freezer ships, fast freeze, tons of shark and billfish. And you've seen them in Balboa. I'm sure you've seen these ships come in with all these frozen carcasses. I'm sure you've probably seen that before, growing up here. Yeah, these frozen ice, big carcasses, taking them out with these hooks and, So, I mean, we're killing 70, 100 million sharks a year.
Just decimating. I think
70 to 100. Yeah, I mean, 70 to, every 1 minute we're talking, there's probably 11 to 12,000 sharks being killed. Every minute that we're talking.
And for what purpose? I mean, what percentage of that is just that they're just taking the fins and the rest of it's getting thrown over? I mean...
Well, probably 70% of that is fins. And the rest of it goes for meat. And that's going into the Oriental markets. And the Oriental market's becoming worse and worse now, taking anything that they can eat.
I remember the last time I went to Coiba, that was a while ago. It was probably over 10 years ago. And it was with another not a shark photographer, but underwater photographer. I don't know if you know Wendell Sasso. He used to
I know Wendell. Oh, yeah.
Me, Wendell, and Tom Fennell. We went all the way down to Ladrones. We were just fishing, and they loved to take me with them because I did all the marine biology stuff. I was like, I'd show them all the tricks about the pilot whales and whatnot. But I remember right off the boundaries of the Coiba National Park, you would see your Servicio Marítimo boats come by, and as soon as they did their patrol, like on clockwork, the longliners would show up right in that area. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but that's just anecdotal evidence of the few times that I've been out there. But if that happens every single day, and we have that, I mean, we're kind of raping our own backyard here in Panama. And
I tell you, you're gonna be without sharks. I'm telling you, this is people don't understand. They don't believe it. I mean. I preach this every day, every chance I get. And, it's the public, you know. I mean, I know you're going to get back to ask me these questions later on, but I got to
Go for
try to
it.
get
Go
to it
for
right
it.
now. Is because
Yeah, go.
I show my I mean, they say, what do you do conservation? Well, I try to do all I can, but my conservation is through images, through pictures, through talks, anything I can do to people learn about sharks, how beautiful they are. I mean, you see people that never saw sharks, or all they think about is eating you up, and they see these pictures. And for younger kids, they see you, they look at you, and then they look at you in the water with the shark.
All right. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't you tell us some of the most ridiculous myths about sharks you've heard, so the people who are still tuned in can get a little bit of education about it. Huh? Go ahead. Lost sound. Okay, let me check on that real quick.
No, I'm working.
How about now?
You hear me?
Okay, they should
You're
have
good. Yeah, I
sound
can hear
now.
you.
It was my fault. I changed the scene. What I did is I
Okay.
put a picture of Mike with the sharks. I wanted to put some pictures up while he was talking about it. Okay, so we should have sound back.
Well, let me just see. Can you hear us, guys, on the Facebook feed? Nobody's
hear us
saying
now?
anything. I'm hoping they can. I guess no news is good news.
Yeah. Okay,
Facebook
sounds good. We
people.
got confirmation.
I'm going to ask you the question. Let me ask you this question that Sebastian said, particularly because it's very topical with regards to what's going on right now in the world with COVID and everything. Sebastian said, I just read an Instagram post about COVID vaccines. The post says that vaccines have esqualeno that is extracted from the shark's liver. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah. Well, I've been hearing about it. Not that I know anything about it, because I don't. I've heard about it, yeah. So, yeah, but unfortunately, they have to kill the shark.
Yeah.
So,
I'm guessing that it's not been medically or scientifically proven that it is actually a COVID vaccine or anything. So let's not kill sharks to get a COVID vaccine, because it's not going to happen.
How many thousands of people will find before we say no, it doesn't work?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. It's like sharks don't catch cancer, but they do.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Right. Well,
yeah.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, long time myth. Well, we'll get back to the myths.
Yes.
Yeah. What are we
Yeah,
talking about?
what's
The
some of the
myths?
most ridiculous
Yeah,
things you've
top
heard
myths.
about sharks, and what's the real story? Give us the real information.
The real deal.
Well, the real thing is that they're mindless killers, that they are the apex monster of the seas. And if you get in the water, they will just come and eat you. That is BS. Not true. Sharks, it's their ocean. Remember, this is their ocean. And when you're in the water with them, they're going to come and look at you. They're going to check you out. They're going to say, hey, is this prey? What is this guy? What's they fishing? So they may come and look at you. And if everything is normal, they just go by. I mean, you'll probably be surprised how many sharks have seen you in the water. If you go to the water a lot. And you probably are in the ocean, sorry. Not in the bathtub, but in the ocean. But seriously, when we're in the water, we're in the ocean, is that we always say, the first thing in the ocean is be aware of your surroundings. The other thing is sharks are feeding. Sharks love to feed, and eat. And if they're into where there's a lot of bait fish in the surf or whatever, they will be in there. They will be feeding. And if the water's not clear, boom, they may hit your leg or whatever. Talking about normally small shark, bigger shark. For instance, if even a tiger shark and what you got right here, a tiger shark and a great white, they will feed on seals or turtles. Turtles, basically tiger shark, seals, the great white. But if a person's on a surfboard, just imagine a surfboard. I should have put a picture up. But a guy on a surfboard laying with his arms and legs out, and the shark looks up with tremendous eyesight they have. It looks like a seal or a turtle.
Yeah.
And their hands are flapping off to the side and they're swimming. So a shark will run up and grab it. The myth here is that sharks do not like the taste of human flesh. But if they grab a leg, and this is what happens, they grab a leg, they grab an arm, they realize that this is not my menu, and they let go. But you're looking at an animal so big that the damage is done.
Right.
And a person can bleed out. And so this is the myth that you have, that the shark is going to attack you because you're a surfboard, they're going to get to easy prey, they're going to grab you. Okay? Another myth, which I think that people aren't very aware of, is that you've been in the water, right? You cut yourself or you hurt yourself, so don't get in the water, shark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna
Supposedly
smell.
the
They're
sharks
gonna
are gonna come
smell it
running
from
if you cut
60
yourself in the
miles
water,
away,
right?
and they're
Right.
gonna come get you.
Yeah. And it's gonna be
That's
like,
right. And a
Scissors
swimming
ready.
pool is one drop for an Olympic swimming pool for some, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's true. That's true if it's a fish or a mammal. Sharks have no feeling or they don't smell human blood. If they do smell it, it's not what they
That's
want to
not
see.
their menu.
I mean, it's not their menu. So we've actually cut ourselves with blood in the water, and sharks just swim around. They won't even get excited. If you put shark blood, fish blood or mammal blood, they immediately go crazy.
Now, is it true that they get into a frenzy? Do
That's a
sharks
myth.
actually go into a frenzy, a feeding frenzy when they? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they compete like dogs. Have you ever, when you see dogs, have you ever had dogs that fight over the food and stuff and really get into
Yeah.
it? So it's
Okay.
the same thing. And so when sharks start eating, feeding, they will become aggressive. Here are bull sharks feeding right here.
right?
They're feeding. You see my foot right there somewhere.
Yeah, I saw one of the flippers there.
You see it every now and then. Every now and then my fin, because I'm swimming backwards. Because I'm trying to get out of the current. So my fins come up in front of the camera. I'm trying to go backwards.
Like, I don't want to get in the way. Mike,
Yeah,
there
well,
was one picture.
You
There
don't
was
want to
one
get in
picture-
there.
There was one picture I saw on Facebook. I saw it on your Instagram, on your
Yeah, let
Facebook.
me,
I don't know if HB can put it on the
let me see if I
screen
can-
for us. Where I was just like, what the hell is going on
This one.
here? Because I'm hearing what you're saying. That picture there.
It's got a story.
That is
I
ridiculous.
tell you what, I have so many people written me up about that picture. A lot of people say that's a Photoshop, man. That's Photoshop, man. No, man, no Photoshop. I tell you what, this picture was because of my wife. My wife was with me on a trip because she goes on all of my great white expeditions.
Right.
And she's my buddy. She takes all of the topside footage, everything. She's right in the mix. She saw more great whites than me, I think, because she's always up there on top. But anyway, she got the bait. She got on the bait line, and so we're trying to get the great whites in. That's me right here in the back.
Yeah, in black, right? That's you there,
Black,
just
right
behind
here.
the shark.
I was standing out on the platform. I was putting on my mask. I was getting ready to get in. And my friend over here on the other side was Ocean Ramsey's husband, Juan Oliphant. And Juan is the best underwater photographer of sharks in the world. And he's standing on the platform with a pole trying to get split image shots with a Nikon camera. He's got a big dome getting split angle shots in the water. When this shark hits the cage, because my wife sends out the bait, She's pulling it in. The shark just comes right up beside me. And she's pulling the bait in. The shark just comes and breached. Comes up right in front of me because there's a platform here that goes around. He comes right up, hits the side of the boat. Juan turns around with his camera and he's going kick, 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 taking all of these shots. And this shark is going boom, and he lands on the back of the boat.
No way.
Yeah, he lands on it. I mean, he come out all the way. This is just the head. He came straight out, ends up on the back of the stern of the boat. Bam! Hits it. Boom, boom, boom. And luckily, he falls back off of the boat, you know. Just knocks everybody. Almost knocked me off in the water with him, you know. I only have my mask on.
Wow.
So how big was this? Was this a male or female?
It's probably about I think it's a male. I think it's about
just 16 foot.
Yeah, that's nothing, man. Yeah.
Well, another crazy day out, you know. Like I say, this is what I was telling you before. You never know what can go down.
And you have to be prepared. You have to be in your mental checklist. You have to be on top of things.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it. Because I mean, this was, and it's, I mean, if he hit you, I mean, the power of that animal. If he hit me, actually, this guy in the blue shirt, he didn't even see it. I mean, he saw it after it ended up on the dock. This guy was like, whoa, and me, I saw it because I saw it coming, and I was trying to grab a hold of something because I knew what was
incredible.
going on. I mean, I shot a video. I think if you saw it with the great white, that I was filming into a group of bait fish. There was so much bait that I couldn't see the sharks. They were disappearing. And I said, shit, where's this white? I know he's here. As he came in, he came right through the bait. Poof, bait ended up, and there he was. He didn't see me, and I didn't see him. Bam, man, he hit my camera and go right over.
Oh, gosh.
I mean these
what do
things
you
happen.
think?
This is a big shark. This is probably the biggest male shark I have seen in Guadalupe. His name is Big. That's his name. And look, stop it right here. Stop it. You see?
I lost it.
The girth of him.
Yeah. Here.
Anyway.
I lost it. I got too many buttons to click here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it, not me. Hey, right here. Stop. But you can see this camera
That thing is massive.
is a diver. He was there in a cage. I was over here on this side. I was outside. But this cage, this guy was Rob Stewart, the famous underwater filmmaker that died a couple of years ago.
Right.
That did sharkwater extinction. And we just finished a white shark documentary 3 months before he died. 41 years old.
41.
Yeah. Just a fucking awesome kid, man. And making him did a stupid thing and paid the price. But story. But this was his last trip. But you can see that's a big shark.
And you say you've seen it several times when you go to Guadalupe, is it? You've seen the same shark, big.
Yeah, I see the sharks all the time. I've seen the sharks for 10, 12, 14 years. Same sharks. I mean, I've seen sharks that disappeared, and we have sharks that still around. And we have new sharks.
I was reading in an interview that you did, I think you mentioned that you think that sharks can actually remember you. Is that, do you think?
I tell you, I'm going to tell you a story. Another one. You asked me about the stories. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. But
no, go ahead.
I'm like with my daughter, you know, we'll be driving around Panama, you know. I said, Paula, let me tell you about the time. I was just another story, Dad. I said, yeah, man, well, I can't remember them until I see that particular thing, you know. she said, you know, it's like that book that Al Sprague wrote called The Long Blue Line, I think it is. Something like that. And it's crazy. It's crazy stories about us in that book. And people ask me, said, did that really happen? I said, you know what? The trouble is with that book is 90% true. So,
Well, every story needs its bit of flourish, doesn't it?
so
Yeah.
well, that is why you get the video and the pictures, because other people would say, you know, this guy's not, I don't know, he's full of it, I think. You know? But you gotta have, no, I got a picture to prove it. And what was I going to answer you? What was the thing?
About sharks being able to remember you.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I have a shark, I spotted a shark in 2014 or 13. And it was a juvenile female, very small. And we keep names and calculations of sharks through we find that it's a new shark, we say, boom, a new shark. So we put a number on it and we put a name to it. I named this shark after my granddaughter, called Michaela Victoria. So anyway, I put the name on her that year. I saw her the next year. And she was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I said, Jesus, it's like she's coming up and she knows, because it's like we're always talking about her, like Ocean will be with me. Ocean out of her microphone and she'd say, there's Michaela. And I'm saying, yeah, Michaela, she'd come in and look at me. Well, about 4 years later, I'm down and I'm in a cage this time. And I'm in a submersible cage and I'm down because I was doing something and I was inside a cage. And I was laying down by myself. And I saw her come in. And I was just laying down with my camera. And she just turned at me and she moved in with me. She just came right up to me very easily, swimming to me, looked at me, came around, and she just stopped and pushed her nose up into the cage about this far. And just put her nose inside. And I rubbed her nose like that a little bit on her nose. And her eyes went back and she let me. And then she just backed out and swam off.
Wow.
But you know what? My heart just stopped. It was like she knew. It's like she knew. And I don't know why I went down in that cage by myself. I don't know why I was down there doing what I was doing, but it was like, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Then we have another one. We took a rope off of that was all cut up in a rope, and we had to cut it off. And this shark was actually dying. And if we had to cut the rope off, it would have died. And this shark has been with us. This is in 2016, 15, and she's been with us the last 4 years, or 3 years, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 5 years. And he's been with us. His name is Luca. Right. He knows who we are. I'm not kidding you. We went out and got the rope off him. Actually, Ocean is the one that got out, was able to cut the rope off, finally get the shark free of this ton of rope hanging off of the shark. It had barnacles all over it and just pulling behind it. And I'm almost sure that he knows that we were the people that saved him. Yeah. Because he just comes up and shows off all the time, comes up and just bumps us and comes around, and he won't go away. It's like, hey, go away. I want some buddies to come in.
Yeah. That's very interesting, because you were mentioning to us on Friday when we were speaking that you helping out trapped sharks, or sharks, like this one with the ropes and the barnacles, or sharks with tumors and all of those things. And I think, people always see sharks as these imposing creatures in the water, but yet, you've actually done a lot to help them when they're in despair, and is it difficult, like say the shark with the ropes that had the ropes on it that was trapped, when you're trying to help them, is it difficult getting up to them or providing them with that support? How do you go about doing that?
Well, I don't know. I think that this particular shark I was just telling you about, he was also weak, but I think that he understood what we were trying to do.
Yeah. And
then I think he was like, hey, he wasn't running, but again, he was very weak, very thin for a great white, very, very thin. Right. And actually, when Ocean went down, we had a knife with a hook on it, like there was curved, and she free dived down on top of it. We were out like on, watching on both sides as she went down, and as she went down on it. Well, she's a mermaid, man. She's really connects with the sharks. And she went down and she just reached down with the fin and reached over with the knife in a forward motion and came under the back part of the fin, which is up on the rope across the fin, got under it, and with both hands just held it. The shark swam down like he was not fighting her, but trying to pull to give her some help to cut the rope.
Right.
Since the rope was, this big around, big rope. It's full of barnacles. And here's another one. Okay, you see this shark. You see the rope around it?
Yeah.
Around the gills and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, and then here he is 2 years later. You see the scars up on top. This is another one that was able to get off. But this one was very hard for us to get close to. And his whole gills were bent. This rope was way into his gills. And the gill is damaged here. As you can see, it's hanging like a flip. It's hanging, it's already damaged. It's still damaged, but he's doing good. But he was hard to get to. He was hard to get to. Ocean got down on him in 2018, 2017 or 2017, and was able to try to cut it, but it didn't cut. And he got away from us. And we were all worried about it. They said, well, that's him. He's finished, Yeah. Because that rope, if it doesn't, it's gonna really destroy his gills, and he won't be able to, he won't be able to breathe. Because their oxygen goes through the gills. But we found it next year. We said, oh my God, there he is. I guess the cut in the rope and getting older the rope and the way that the growing a little bit maybe, it snapped.
Right.
But there we were to find him. It was so awesome.
That's incredible.
So awesome. So,
while we're looking at the people who are tuned in, you can find Mike's Instagram at Silent Hunter _PTY. You can see it right under his. We've got it. Let's see. There it is. At Silent Hunter PTY. It's right under his picture. I mean, just incredible. Along with these stories are these incredible pictures. I mean, you've got to check it out. He's also got a YouTube channel that's got tons of videos on it. It's just incredible. And I love these stories, and I hope that the people who are tuned in we're able to dispel some of their fears, because I think a majority of the people, I think you have a greater chance of being killed by a cow than you have of being killed by a shark. I think statistically, you have a higher chance. There's a list: cows, sharks, dogs, trains. They're all higher than
the highest person to be killed by a beast or an animal or insect, whatever, is
mosquito. Exactly.
But
by millions, by a factor of 1,000, I think. More humans die because of mosquitoes than any other animal on Earth.
That's right. That's right.
And Mike, you were telling us about this Spanish galleon that I think you were doing a salvage effort. And I think we have some pictures there of some of the coins maybe that you pulled up, some of the treasures.
Yeah, let me find.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I started looking for this guy. A lot of people really started looking for this thing way back. Years go back, we used to dive on the Atlantic side, I was on the Pacific side. And on the Atlantic side, we used to find these wrecks, and it was like, who really cares? It was like, nah. And then, I don't know if you ever heard of a lady called Reina Torres. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was in charge of what type of EPOD, and then the cultural EPOD. Enac was named, I guess she started in Enac and all that. And I spent her way back in the 60s. And when I was diving to get stuff, and I made good friends with her. With Omar, she was in that group, and PIs and EPOD. It was a wild time at the time. And she said, Mike, you give this stuff, and you need this stuff for the museum and stuff. So she was very good with letting me bring her stuff free and drop off stuff. And but I really didn't know about the markets of it. But later I learned about it, and I started to look on in the archives of Spain and the Indies and find out about shipwrecks that we may have found or whatever. And there was a famous wreck here in Panama that a lot of Zonians knew about, but nobody knew where it was, and there was a lot of mist. And it was called the San Jose. She sunk in 1631 off the Pacific, close in the Pearl Islands. And it's the richest treasure ship in Panama. It's been lost.
Incredible.
And yeah, she was actually coming. She was of the South Sea Armada, which is on the silver route, the Ruta de Plata. It came from Peru, Ecuador, to Panama on the Pacific side. The coins were then transported across the isthmus to the Atlantic side, to where they went on the on the old Camino Real and all that stuff. And from there, they would go into ships and then go off to Havana, Spain. So all the silver the Spanish brought from the whole world would come from Potosí, Bolivia. They end up in the Lima, Peru, and there, one of the ships coming into Panama. Well, this ship went down off of the Pearl Islands, and she was a flagship, a 700-ton galleon, and wealthy with silver bars and silver coins, carrying, I think, over 2,000 chains of bars and 214 chests of silver coin. Each one of these chests would take over 2,000 coins per chest.
Wow.
So you get a lot of coins. And a lot of contraband and so forth, yeah. So anyway, I was able to find it. I started looking for it in the 80s. 1998, I really found part of it, which was right before the elections of
Mireya.
Was it Mireya?
Mireya, right.
Yeah.
Right before the elections there. But we're now trying to get the permits for it because, the law in Panama states that you have to have a search permit before you can get a salvage permit. So you go out and search for anything, but once you found it, you have to go say, "Hey, dude, here I found it," diggy, 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 and ask for permits to do it. And this can become tricky. And sometimes, what's the word I heard today? The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
That's the way. So.
Yeah. Government.
Anyway, we were able to find it and started. It's been in the court like 3 to 4 times since 2001, and it's still now. We've been stopped because of UNESCO and Panama. With Panama, even though Panama getting 35%, we went through I think 3 divisions where stuff parted out. I don't know where they're at, but we were able to get quite a bit of stuff. And we had a beautiful laboratory on the island of Cantalora that everything was being preserved and put into databases and all that. So we did do a really good job, but unfortunately things are shut down. We are trying to get our permit back to start doing again, but a lot of issues that I wouldn't want to discuss right now.
That's a good segue.
So anyway,
we've got a special request. Paula wants to know, tell Ocean's story with Deep Blue in Hawaii.
Oh.
Is this a scary story, or what? Did Ocean?
No. Well, watch this. Look at this. This is when you're not paying attention. Look, I'm filming this shark here. Look at this. And I'm following it, and out of the corner of my eye, boom,
bigger one.
Oh, goodness.
Comes right in, man. That guy's coming whop out over my shoulder, almost knocks the shit out of me. You see? You see what can happen? He could have taken you right there and you'd never know.
Yeah.
Wow.
What you call a white shark photo bomb. Video bomb. So, yeah, with Ocean, with Deep Blue. Actually, that was Deep Blue and another one, bigger than Deep Blue. And, like, if there was anybody in the world that deserved to see that, was Ocean. To run across that incredible sighting. Oh, there's the shark with the rope. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. She asked me that question. It was a whale carcass. It was off Hawaii, And she was out with her students and diving, and she happened to run across it and run across Deep Blue. There was Deep Blue feeding on this carcass. This was 20-foot great white, big female, filming just sitting there feeding on this carcass. The next day, there was two of them. And the other one was bigger than Blue. It was about 21 feet.
Wow.
And stayed for like 2 days. And she goes, get out of here, Mike, get out. Make it into the reservation, Get out there to film the ocean in Hawaii. But get out there, I missed that. But hey, she got it, and she was able to dive with the two most biggest great whites in the world ever been recorded. She had both of them.
Incredible. And then, did she ever see these sharks elsewhere, or that was just in Hawaii?
Just in Hawaii.
Because I remember.
I don't think she saw Deep Blue in Guadalupe.
Okay.
I have.
Oh, you saw Deep Blue in Guadalupe, and she saw Deep Blue in Hawaii. That's incredible. I mean, I think through the storytelling, we have to. There's so many amazing things going on, but to dive in one place and see a great white, and then go to another place and see it again. That's, to me, it's kind of mind blowing that you're able to run across them in different places.
Yeah, that's the magical thing about these sharks is the migration of them. They will be in Guadalupe. They're only in Guadalupe for a short period. They're only there for they usually there around in July, August until November, and then they're off. They really start coming in September, October, when the big females come in October. October, November, big females. And mostly a lot of them are pregnant, heavily pregnant. They're into Guadalupe. But the root is that when they leave in December, it's a lot of them go to a place called the White Shark Cafe. And it's out in the middle of the Pacific between Guadalupe and Hawaii. And they call it the White Shark Cafe because they just hang out there. We don't know what they're doing there. They're just hanging out there all of the months, swimming around in deep water, telling stories about the assholes they saw in Guadalupe. They should have eaten. We won't see them again next year, but they will be there, and then it gets close to coming around July. They move, and they start up toward Oregon, the Oregon coast, and down to California coast, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, then down to Guadalupe. Some of them go off into the peninsula of Mexico, which is nearby. They call it the
Yucatan?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. Between the snow. You know where the strip is. They got the tail. What do you call that?
I can't remember.
What? Back up to Guadalupe. My mind's, Gotta give me a break.
So you're going to tell us the secret to youthful longevity is swimming with great white sharks. That's what Mike was telling us. That's what Mike was telling us before the show started. We do have a question from YouTube. Yehudi Ariati asks, do you know of other sharks that have traveled so long? Or, is the great white known for its long travels? Are there any other species of sharks that have that travel that far a distance?
Well, Yehudi knows this. Yehudi, the hammerheads Guadalupe to Panama, and back. If they make it, they don't make it. So that's a long migration period.
Yes.
And we have the great whites. Great whites come from up to New York, down to Key West.
Right.
Incredible.
So, but the great white is probably one that migrates the most. Others are more territorial. Tiger sharks. Actually, that's what I'm trying to work in Panama. I would really like to get something going. Yehudi maybe as well. I really want to see about tracking tigers, have a way of appearing and disappearing. You know where they're going, how far they're going, how far they're going. Hanging in the same area, they're going deep, moving out farther, or what's the deal? What's going down an area and coming up. You know, the only thing we've ever know is a hammerhead, and we know that our friends in Ecuador are giving us this information.
Right. That is very interesting.
Okay.
This is very, very.
All right, I found.
Yeah.
I
did
have a
find this
question
pic-
for
Go
you.
ahead, Joe.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, now here is Luca, and you can see the rope on him. It was really, really heavy tied around him. And then one up on top is after it was cut off, it's just a scar here, right here. You can see a little scar. But these down here are the ropes that were tied around him. And you see this bait. We put this bait out, and he wouldn't even take it. He was so weak that he would just go around it, maybe bump it. You know, he wouldn't even eat it.
Wow.
It was so bad. He was so bad. And I mean, we cut that thing off of him and that rope just fell. I mean, you could see he was a happy camper. I mean, he just sort of swam around in circles, like all this weight had been off of me, and then it come back around for an hour or so, and then took off. But the next year, he was back.
That's
And he'd be back
incredible.
every year and won't leave us alone.
I'm really starting to see sharks as like dogs.
Yeah.
From this
Yeah, well,
conversation.
you know, they don't bark.
Yeah, they don't bark.
But you know, have you ever heard a shark growl?
No.
No, they growl.
My God.
What does it sound like?
Or you believe it?
I think you pulled one on. You pulled one over on us.
Oh,
Oh, come
people
on.
ask, I got you. Yeah, people always ask me, what kind of sound they make? I said, oh, man, they got this sound. Scary. That's why they call him the silent hunter.
That's you
You can hear it coming from a mile
yeah,
away.
you've got us. You've got us so enraptured with all your different questions that that we'll listen. We'll believe anything you tell us. I think.
Seriously. You can tell us that sharks go tap dancing at midnight, and we'll be like, "What? Really?"
Tell you that story. Oh my God. Yeah, they do some crazy stuff, you know. They do some crazy things. I'm trying to think of something good, something extra.
What
that I'm
Mike,
trying
I
to-
really want to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a really I find it fascinating that you were living in Coiba when the prison was active in Coiba, and you actually had prisoners working with you as trustees. So I don't know if there's maybe a quick story you could tell us about your experience living there, working there while the prison, which is now, you know, I mean, it's been closed for ages, but people remember it as being a very cruel place. Is there anything that you can tell us about your experience there?
Well, like I said, when I went there, you gotta, you know, one of those days. No, but when I was there, like I said, building the club. Did we talk about this before? Or before we connected?
Yeah, I think it was before we connected. You
I
were
don't know,
doing
I'm
the
not sure.
pre-builts, and
Yeah.
you were out there with
Yeah,
Noriega,
that's
I
right.
think.
You
Anyway,
had some maniacs.
Maniac. Yeah, I told you about that, but I was offline. Anyway, I went to Coiba in I think after 1971, something like that, and I went there. We know the story getting there, but we had the trustees that were working with us to build the club because we were very close with Central, which is the main penal area. The club is on the other side of the island, which is in front of Rancheria, which we built there for the club. But anyway, to get back to what you were saying, working with the trustees, is that we had several trustees working with us, and they were some characters. We had one guard, 7 trustees, and myself. And we had many a thunderous night and rainy nights. And when I was always there, I used to carry, I had an M16, and I had a shotgun, and I had a 38 pistol. So we had three arms in that island. And I always let them know that I kept this under my bed. And my quarters was right here. We had my quarters, the kitchen, and the trustee. And and the guard, and the one guard. And he slept with them, played dominoes. That was his thing with him. So I said, I don't care if the place is flooding. I don't care whatever's going down. Do not, I'll repeat, do not touch my door at night. Never touch my door. Because if you touch my door,
You're going for the long sleep.
no.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't care who's on the outside,
Long sleep.
going out. And because we had some weird people. Like I said, we had 2 murders in our trustees. I think I told you about the crazy one.
Mm.
And how with the moon and so forth, you know. But yeah, I used to work with a guy named Capitan Capel. Captain Capel. He was the head of Coiba. He was the head master.
Right.
What the headmaster is. And I mean, sometimes he would get angry with me and he'd say, do you want to come over and live with me here, Griguito? And I said, no, whatever, you know, whatever, you know, whatever. But we would trade off, because I'd always have a lot of fish. I would trade off fish. He would give me rice. He would give me some meat because I always kill a cattle or whatever out on the island. And he would come around at night and want to take one of my boats to the mainland or by a Honda because he wanted to go visit the school teachers. The maestra. You know, and sometimes I tell him, hey, but Capitan, I can't really give you the boat because what? What did you say? I said, yeah, I'll be glad to give you the boat. No,
You have
no
to manage
problem.
your relationship with your stakeholder.
Yeah. And what's this?
Muchachita, muchacho, el gringo que lo cogieron preso.
Oh, my wife just gave me insight. There was a situation. I'll tell you a situation because there's so many situations. I mean, we have to have a special program just to talk about Coiba. I mean, I could do 2 hours of Coiba. But there was one thing when I was out there. There was this young American kid, and he ends up a prisoner in Coiba.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And he was an American, and I wanted to get him as a trustee. So I went to Capel and I told him, hey, you have this gringo kid that you arrested, he's out here in Coiba. And he said, yeah, what about him? I said, no, I would like to get him to come to work with me. You know, I mean, young guy, and I'm sure whatever he did, marijuana or whatever he got caught on drugs, is to come and work for me out there. He said, no, he stays here. That's the order of the General. Of the General. I said, what? I know General. So I got hold of him, and I didn't see him, maybe whatever, but he used to come out to the club. And he would fly out and spend a night, go fishing, smoke good cigars, have a good time on the island, and with some friends. And I asked him, I said, you know, listen, you got this guy over there, and I'd like to get him as a prisoner, but I understand you got the thumb on him, you know? And he said, yeah, the gringo don't go anywhere. He stays over there. So I said, well, what did he do so bad, man? You know, but anyway, I found out that, I mean, he's not going to tell me, you know, like, oh, you're asking me why, so I'm going to tell you? No. You know, Omar wasn't that type of guy. He could explain to me. But I did find out what happened, and that he got arrested in Tacoma, coming in, for bringing in drugs, or trying to drag out drugs or whatever. And they put him on a fat plane. You remember fat?
What's a fat plane?
The Air Force, military. Fuerza
Aéreo Panameño, or something like that.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they flew him in to Paitilla. And in the Paitilla, the kid panicked, and he drew a pistol out of the guy's hand, out of the holster of the pilot, and took them all as hostage.
Oh, jeez.
Trying to get out of the country, and this didn't go well with the general.
Yeah.
Because the general was really against drugs. You know, I knew him. I knew all the stuff you hear. Really against people that do drug business and things like that. And He was really against that. We're talking about
Yeah,
Omar
not
Bolton, not
Noriega.
Yeah.
So, pretty against, yeah, pretty against all that. And anyway, the kid was out there, and anyway, I was able to find the kid down in Cueva. I was able to run him down in Central. And I got to him and I said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And he was really paranoid, man. I mean, the kid couldn't really talk. He was really like brainwashed, scared. He didn't have any shoes, didn't have anything going on. I said, "Listen, does your family know you're here? You got family I can get to?" And no, like he didn't want to give me any names. And I said, "Well, what type of shoes you wear? I'll get you some shoes, man. What size you wear?" Anyway, very, very strange. The kid didn't want to talk. And I lost track of him. So I got the shoes for him, and I went back maybe a month later, whatever. I was able to go there, and I said, "Where's the Gringuito?" They said, "Well, he's in Campo Número Uno, hay Campo Número Dos, Campo Número Tres." That's where they have vacas, they have rice, they have where they grow. And where these people live in these campos, man, the guys in Central had it easy. Those guys that worked in these campos, man, they wore like rice bags as clothes.
Wow.
Rice bags, his pants. Hair growing like wild years, lived under a tent, with a ring. They were animals.
Scary.
They were animals. And he was put over there in these camps, and hey, dude, the kid never appeared again.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's sad.
I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
he
to him. I
disappears.
really don't. I keep asking, and finally I was told not to ask anymore about it. So yeah, that was just a story. There's so many stories.
Well, we've got a few special requests again.
goodness.
Ask if are all our white sharks different? Do they have different marks?
Yes, of course. There's no two white
So
sharks the same.
how do you? What's the?
If you show
Let
me-
me.
If you show me a picture of a great
I
white.
can
You have
pull one up
one?
here.
Good one. Maybe a side one. That's the ocean with
Let's
the
see
big
if I
one.
can. Here's a side
Wow.
one.
Well, actually, you can see this with ocean. You see, you can't see it really well, but you see the markings, how the white goes here, goes up around these white and dark areas. It is
Yeah.
a mark. If you look at the whole side of the shark, you will see it all the way to the tail. If you got a picture of one
Here.
sideways. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can see all of these markings. Okay, right here by the fin area, you will have the white markings. And all of these are different. They're like a fingerprint. And some of them will have a deformed, my exact quote.
It's not a shark.
A deformed fin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, here's one. You can see pretty good. But they'll have since some of them could have a deformed fin or marking on the tail. They have spots on the tail. On the tail markings are different. So yeah, that's how we identify them. And after seeing these sharks so many times, I see them coming, just a facial expression. People say, there comes Fulano, whatever.
Just by looking at their face. Wow.
Yeah, just by looking at the face,
Well, we need a shark named RapScallion after our show. I think we got to go out there.
What, this in 2021? I will do
excellent.
that for you.
Please.
It has to be a new one. Like we found, we're finding like this past year, I think we got like 40 something new sharks to the area of Guadalupe.
Wow.
New ones to come in, from large ones to
Incredible.
juveniles.
That is
So we have all
fantastic.
types.
Okay, and also there was a question about some more information about the hammerheads coming out of the Galapagos. Let's see if I can find that question. The hammerheads that travel from Galapagos to Chiriquí, the information of your friend of Galapagos was the question from Yehudi. Maybe some more information about how the hammerheads travel long distances, I think is what she's getting at.
How they travel?
I think you touched on that before. The hammerheads are traveling up from Galapagos, and then you lose their markers once they get to Panama. I think that's what.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the marine biologists in the Galapagos. Actually, I don't know why we started talking. He sent me a note, wanted to talk. I said, sure, let's hook up. His name is Pelayo. Salinas, his last name? Pelayo Salinas, I think his last name. Anyway, he was working with the hammerheads, and he was one that was doing the tagging, the satellite tagging of these females, and watching the travel of them, which are traveling down from Galapagos. Strange, they didn't really hang around Cocos, if they would pass that, because they were looking for areas like mangrove areas, because this is where their cousins are having given birth to their pups, in the area of the mangroves. So they would come all the way into Panama Bay, and from here, actually, some of them were being caught actually as far out as Coiba. He was telling me in Perecí, off La Freires. And right there they were disappearing.
Really?
And then some of them would get into Panama Bay and blip.
Wow.
But not one has survived the return.
That's crazy.
Not one.
Well, it's.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you would say one or two, or some come back with some information. And this is why he's so desperate to get information in Panama, farther down, actually, if we can get it to return.
Just to get that information, you get that tracking information and how long it takes. And
yeah, but the thing is, how are you going to make sure that it gets released or not caught, to get back?
Well, do you have the information of how many of those tagged sharks, all of them disappear specifically in Panama, or that's where you lose track?
It's not Panama, yeah. No, in Panama.
I think we can use that as a cry for help towards Panama, and that's a segue into my next question: is what can the average person do to help promote shark awareness and ocean conservation?
Yeah, good question.
Well, very important, very important. The thing is, as I always say, I do my conservation through photos and images and talk to people like you, talking to students. I did during this lockdown. I must have did for every major major private school in Panama. I give talks to different groups, different age groups, and you get these younger people really interested in it, And then like last year, the year before, after a talk, I'll be packing my stuff up, and they would come back and they want to talk to you on the side. Teacher would bring them back because they're really showing the interest. These people are going to be our future, okay? And our time now is for the kids. The kids will tell their parents. I have so many parents have told my daughter, Paula, God, my kid was just so wound up in the talk that your dad did. And what can we do? That I didn't realize this. I want to know more. But with this, is we have to change laws in the government. We have to get the government on our side. But who gets the government on our side? The public. And once the public can see what's going on and see that there's not going to be a future of sharks, there's not going to be a future of sharks here in Panama. It's not going to happen. I mean, I'm telling you, people out there that are studying sharks right now, the way things are going today, they'll tell you that I'm right. There's not going to be a future. They're just going to be gone completely. I mean, I used to dive. I used to have to move out of the way with sharks. And now to see a shark, like I tell young kids, if you're just lucky in your lifetime to see one shark in the water, that's a miracle. What you have witnessed is a miracle nowadays.
Absolutely.
Me, because, I do it because I bring them and I do. But the thing is, it's critical, man. It's critical. What's going on in Florida right now? They're killing sharks like crazy up there right now.
What's the story with that?
Because, they got the fishermen off of Jupiter in that area. They got so upset because of sharks. Like I said, so much shark diving up there. People are feeding sharks, which I don't agree in feeding sharks. I do not feed sharks. All of my studies, you never see me feeding sharks. You don't see me
Well,
out there
what's-
with a hand of shark.
Well,
'Cause I put bait
you got to
out
tell us why.
with oil
What does that do?
and
That
frozen.
you're training the shark, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, because they're feeding them, the people can't get their fish into the boat.
Hmm.
We're sport fishermen. And they go fishing for shark, and because people are out there feeding sharks, the minute they see a fish on a line,
Okay, so
they go for it.
in
Take
a
it.
sense, we're
Eat
training
it.
the sharks. Hey, if you come here, you can get food. And then when someone tries to go out and fish,
Yeah.
they see the same type of food available, and they're eating it. So we're creating our own problem. We're creating
That's
our own
it.
problem.
That's it. Our own problem. Exactly. But if I go, you know, if I go up against my friends, all of my friends, like I got on one friend the other day. He was showing them, taking the hooks out of the shark. I can do that. I've done that many times, is to reach down and get them into a motion and get their head like in a trance and reach and grab a hook and try to get that hook out. But that's getting around, so the shark can get to you, so you can do that. And something I always one of the myths before is that you never ever want a shark to make body contact with you. Very important.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Because once he body contacts with you, if he hits you with his fin, hits you with whatever, he will immediately take you as prey. And you don't react, then he's got you. He feels through every moment, not only through the nose, HB, as you had explained before, but also the lateral line that goes down the side of the shark. It goes from the eye, the ear, all the way down to the tail. It's called the lateral line. And this lateral line, it gets big, it swells up when they're feeling any vibration in the water. And if they touch you, they hit you, whatever, then they'll say, "Whoa, I got the upper hand."
No
You
way.
never want that to happen. You can take that upper hand, but not the shark. But getting back to that is, when I have done this and taken out hooks and so forth, but some of these guys, they would like to rub their nose and play with them because they've got to know them and to roll them and play with them. I just don't agree with that. And put a piece of bait and let them take it.
Yeah.
That's a trained shark. When you have trained sharks, you're looking for disaster.
I agree. Yeah, it's like
You
wrestling
like
with
a raccoon.
alligators and
Like a raccoon. Yeah, like a raccoon. I used to have a
snakes and bears
raccoon. And you put a piece of donut or a piece of sugar in your pocket, he'll rip your pocket off to get to that sugar.
Yeah.
A raccoon. You put your hand in there, he's gonna bite you. So this is the problem. What I use is when I'm diving or if I'm looking to bring in sharks, and I'll take frozen boxes of bait, which I'll take it up, which is frozen, and put it in a crate and drop it. And I think it's going to come out in maybe little pieces, and the smell, and that keeps them to come around, so you can film them, or you can tag them, or you can work with them. But I will never be sure where to touch them, unless I have to shove them away, or feed them.
Understood. Yeah, I think one of the problems is we don't understand how smart sharks are. I think they're a lot smarter than we think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start training them because we think it's cool to wrestle with a shark and to throw food over the side, and then we create our own problems. It's like, it goes back to awareness. Even yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
Totally.
I've seen sharks that come up. Really, really that. I mean, I've seen sharks that I know that will come up. You're talking about lemon sharks or silky sharks, diving with a lot of these sharks. They actually know they're going to stick their head out of the water by the boat, saying, "Where's the food, dude?
Wow.
Give me a break."
One of the things that you said is really resonating with me, is because I actually, I didn't carry on in the field, but I did study marine biology for a few years, and I've never swam with a shark to the best of my memory. I've never seen a shark in Panama. I went all the way to the Galapagos. I swam with white tips. A 3-meter mako made an appearance, just a huge fish, and they pulled us out of the water immediately when that thing came around. in the Caribbean, some white tips, but in Panama, I've never seen a shark that wasn't at the mercado, and that wasn't. And then I recall stories, my mother telling me that because the Bay of Panama was the breeding ground for hammerhead sharks, she remembers when she was young that there would be fishermen on the side of the causeway pulling out hammerheads as tall as palm trees. You know,
that's
so
incredible.
you know, there's probably a little embellishment going on there as far as stories, but you know, as far as what we have now as to what we had then, we're really damaging our environment, and we need to get back in touch with nature. You know, we won't survive if they're not surviving as well.
Yeah, well, what we're going to see is more of this.
Yeah. That's
This.
I remember once being
See
at
this?
the beach and I saw these guys, these fishing guys. They were pulling up in their, and it was near a fishing village, and they were pulling up in their boat, and it was a really, humble type boat, and they had a hammerhead shark tied to the top of the boat, and we're just like, you can't be fishing sharks, and they were like, oh, we can fish whatever we want. Like,
Exactly.
what's going on?
Yeah, well,
so
this is the problem. This is the problem. And, I mean, here's your good shot.
Oh
Take
yeah,
this.
incredible.
man, you are brave.
Camera's right there, just-
So one of our last questions
Well,
was,
My friend's coming up
Hey.
to say hello. Look at this. Here's my real shot.
Hey,
what's his name?
that's
is
the
my pup.
deadliest shark of all.
His name
Sharky.
is Sharky. Yeah.
Hey, Sharky.
And then here is
Ooh, he's dangerous.
That's
they're
dangerous.
fighting now. They're getting jealous.
Uh,
So I got two. This old guy's got two Jack Russells. I mean, not even young guy got one. I got two.
well, that's a good segue to a question. What does your family think of, and family and friends think about you swimming with great whites?
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
is my daughter there?
I think she's still tuned in. Yeah.
Paula, you there?
I think. Well, I know personally. I know that she ended up going diving with you, but throughout the
That's right.
years, was there a change in there? And you said that your wife also went with you. She's seen more, as many, if not more, whiteheads.
I've only been on one great white shark trip without her.
Incredible.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah.
And without her, I've only been on one.
Eh.
So,
And so, how did Paula do with the great whites?
well, she loved it. You know what she saw? It was so strange. She said the first shark she saw was one of the largest female great whites we have to Guadalupe. Her name is Lucy. And she's about the same size as Scarborough, which is the second largest great white we have. And Lucy had a deformed tail. No, wait a minute. Sorry, Paula. Sorry. You didn't see Lucy. You saw Scarborough, the big one. Sorry, you're right. She saw the biggest one, the second largest great white females we have in Guadalupe.
Wow.
Her name is Scarborough. And she saw her the first time she was in the water, she saw her. The second day she was in the water, she got to spend the whole morning with Michaela Victoria, her granddaughter, named Shark.
Wow.
She just came up and hung around with Paula like she knew. I asked her. You got to ask her that.
I kind of believe you, because when I was in the Galapagos, I was trying to grab. The captain of the boat had told me, and I stupidly listened to him. He said, if you grab the tail of a white tip, it'll take you for a little ride. So I tried to do that, and so the shark looked at me. He looked at me sideways like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, dummy? And then he took off.
Yeah.
But I felt a conversation there. I don't know if it's us humans tend to personify animals, but I really feel like he looked at me like, hey, dumbass, I've had enough of you. I'm out of here. And he took off.
I'm out of
Leave me
here.
alone, I'm gonna bite you.
Well, this is what I wanted to say to you before, is that the most important thing is besides being aware in the ocean, being aware of your surroundings, but the second most important thing is the eye contact with the shark. The shark is close enough. And I'm sure many people are going to have an opportunity to get that close to say, hey, I want to be doing eye contact with the great white or any shark. But the eye contact is so important, and they will tell you so much at that moment. It's a moment of saying, back off. It's a moment of saying, I'm just checking you out. It's a moment of fear on their part. They have so many expressions in their eyes. And the eye contact is the most important. The first thing I will do is I never shoot a camera like this. You never see me, you always see a camera. Because if you're filming, you learn to film sharks anyway, without looking through the camera. Because
you got to keep your eyes.
You just can't. You can't watch a shark and watch over here because you're going to get eaten for sure. But the thing is to be able to just film here and watch what you're doing and film with it as you go.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get it. Otherwise, I must have answered something.
No, the eye contact, where you see the intelligence.
The eye contact.
But I had a girl. Listen to this. This is the girl once. She's filming, and she's a trained underwater photographer. One of the best. She's really famous, but really good underwater photographer. Really good cinema girl. And she had long blonde hair. She wore in a ponytail, like Ocean, but filming a tiger shark. And people have a problem with this. A lot of people do this. You see this. They're taking pictures and they'll stop and they'll. Let me see what I got. Jesus Christ! I said, no.
Yeah.
You're gonna find yourself in a play in a minute, But you're watching. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But she was doing that, and tiger shark love to come for your head because the camera gives out a really vibration. I mean, electronic feel. Or when you're firing off, especially on a strobe, they go pitch-a-woo, pitch-a-boom, just like firing out. And the sharks go, what? What's this? And they get all up there and I come running in, like, what's this sound? And she was there, the shark come around, and he went down on her like this, and we screamed at her because she was looking like this, and he came right for her head. As soon as he went over, but his teeth got wrapped around in her ponytail.
No way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And just drug her away like a doll.
Oh God.
I can't take it.
I mean, she's and then
What happened?
Did she?
Got loose, pulled out, but lost some hair.
Oh.
And then another friend of mine was filming a tiger shark on Shark Week last year, and he was out filming it. And this tiger shark just said, "Well, the camera's mine now." And he just come in and took the whole camera, the whole fucking lid, and it takes off after and everybody's with microphone in the camera, and he takes off. And we're saying, leave it alone, let it go. And Michael's jumped back like, fuck it, this is my camera, I'm going after my camera. And he's chasing the shark down to get the shark out.
Did he get it?
This is on Shark Week.
Wow, I'm gonna have to look for this on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. You check it out. So if you can't find it, let me know. I'll get it to you. Here's a shark taken by Becky, my wife.
Incredible
this
shot.
one here, that's epic shot.
Yeah, she took that. That was this was. I got the tooth you just saw.
Oh, that's from this shark.
That's from that shark.
Yeah, I got you again.
You got us. We'll believe anything you tell us. At this point, we're
Anything. Seriously.
But they do lose the tooth. They carry over 15 rows of teeth.
Right. Wow.
They in back, and as soon as one comes out, a new one comes in. And they can do over 350 teeth in a lifetime very easily.
That's incredible. They will never ever need dentures or anything like that, man. That's incredible.
And it's come back. You know, it's crazy.
I think
But,
they keep growing though. They never
crazy.
stop growing teeth. They're not like humans, so I don't think they'll need dentures.
That's it.
No.
They used to come, man.
Can you imagine?
Here's
Lucky, you know, but
Here's a question that we haven't hit yet is, just with basic Googling, as we prepped for the show, we've seen some shark populations have decreased by 75%. Have you noticed over your career, and can you tell us how it used to be as compared to how it is now?
Yeah, well, I would agree to that. A lot of population of sharks have just completely disappeared off of the planet, man. I mean, they're not anywhere else. They just disappeared. Like I said, there's 70 to 100 million sharks a year being killed, and 11 to 12,000 a minute as we speak. So definitely they are disappearing. When I was young, I think we talked about that, is that when I was in the water, man, you couldn't be in the water without sharks being around, you know? They were just all over the place. I mean, you get in the water, you count to 10. You know, it was like, you know they're going to be there. And if they weren't, the first fish you shot, boom, they were there. And now, half of the divers that I know, young guys now, have never even seen a shark.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
No, spear fishermen. I shoot a fish. And you see these young guys are coming in with, and I tell the younger guys, you know, I say, listen, just because you don't see one doesn't mean they're not there. You know, they're there. They could be a big predator out there, a big bull, big tiger out there swimming around, and they grab the fish and they would hold it. Go back to the boat, you know, and they're knife in the head and the blood and stuff, and they're swimming back to the boat. And yeah, you know, dude. In my time, I never touched a bloody fish in the water. You know, so that's the difference. I mean, nowadays you're just not there. I mean, I know where there's some, and believe me, I know where there's families of tiger sharks. I know where there's some families of sharks, but I don't tell anybody because I'm afraid to get to the fishermen.
So what in your opinion do you think, you know, is it the longliners or is it the artisanal fishermen that are really taking care of the hammerheads? Both. Because both of them are just annihilating it.
Yeah, just too much. But I'd say the hammerheads are basically more into the local fishermen.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Do you? Here's another question. What are some dangerous trends that you see that we need to address concerning sharks in the ocean?
Well, we're by that again. Long lining has to be stopped. 2 is we cannot distinguish the type of shark we have to protect. Either it's none or all. Because you end up killing more for no reason.
Yeah. Because
of the fear of bringing in a with the shark, and that's number 2. Number 3 is that the which I brought up. I think I started this, but I think Marviva actually started with it, run with it, or did something about it. Was putting out, which I've been trying to get done for a long time, is on fish products. Is put shark-free product. On packages of fish, ceviche places shark-free product.
Absolutely, that's an excellent idea.
That's very interesting. You do see the tuna always says, you know, dolphin-free. Like people make an effort to let you know that the tuna that you're consuming.
Not a dolphin, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, don't be afraid to ask. Also, what type of fisherman is? Where was this fish caught?
Yeah.
Also, where was the fish caught? If you don't know what kind of fish it is to ask, what kind of fish is this? You know? I mean, the shark fin soup exists here.
I did. I'm ashamed to say that I tried it as a young man. It's tasteless. It's there's no reason for the sharks to be completely obliterated over this soup. You know.
But HP is money. You know how much money is involved in the shark fin industry? It's the second illegal fishing or second illegal business next to drug business. Illegal shark fishing. It's so big.
I think. Can you repeat that, Joe?
Huh?
Your audio went down.
Sort of obsession with like shark fins. I think people just
It's
to
a
have them for
status.
some
It's a
reason.
it's a
just
status
ridiculous.
thing, and yeah,
The status,
like you're
status
supposed.
thing. But then it's the meat. I mean, if you go into Hong Kong, or you go into China, because you see thousands and thousands of these fins hanging in these
Yeah.
stores. Big, giant fins, from basking sharks to whale sharks to makos to gray whites. I mean, like just a couple of years ago, just a few years back, in Bagamonte, I used to go there and they'd have the sharks just,
Everywhere.
fins on
Dried.
top of these buildings.
Oh well.
Yeah. Remember, we have ports in this place, in this country, that people can go in and out of, and nobody really, maybe drugs, maybe, but not with fish and sharks. They can care less, So we got to get the public to help us, to join us, and to get with the younger people, the universities, like Yehudi's doing with shark defenders, and people that we can go to the government, the government official, get a couple of strong government officials behind us,
Yeah.
And say, yay, what do you need from us? When we're looking at the assembly, the Asamblea, not directors or ministers, we're looking at the Asamblea. We're looking at top people, up to the president,
Well, we're going on 2.5 hours here. We got Chechi writing in. Let's wrap up with this question. How do you come up with the sharks' names? And is there a naming convention for sharks?
A naming convention. Well, actually, I'll show you right here. Hold on just a second. Let me pull out one real quick. Mike. Hold on. Yeah. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. All these books, where are they? Becky?
I'm going to show some pictures
Where are the,
while Mike looks for the. While Mike looks for.
The book.
I'll say what the picture's about. I will interpret the picture.
Becky? Yeah.
So the shark was
Where's the
hungry.
shark
He
book?
ate fish, and Mike took a picture of it.
This guy.
The shark was swimming, and Mike wasn't scared of it, so he took a picture of it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I was trying to get away.
That is a beautiful picture.
Where's the shark books?
That
The
is
shark
incredible.
books. You'll show the names of the sharks. When
That
you
is a
clean up,
beautiful picture.
when
I don't
my
know, if
wife
the shark
cleans
came
up,
at me.
Hello.
Becky,
Shark
my
came at
wife,
me like
She's
that.
seen
I
more
would
sharks,
run away.
more sharks than I have. And I study marine biology, man. Look at that.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, man.
My wife cleans my office and my books disappear.
That's part of the marriage agreement.
I don't know what to do with them. There's about
Well, she
the last
puts
6
them where they're
years.
supposed to be.
Yeah, in the trash. Wait a minute. Oh, here's one. I got one.
All are there. Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, here's 2018. I got the new one.
Oh, here is there's a here.
So that's the older one.
Okay.
So anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna take it off.
here's one from
2018.
Ooh.
2018.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is the ID book that we put together, and as you can see, we'll just show numbers
Screaming Mimi.
and ID. Yeah, and IDs of different sharks. You can see here. Oh, here's a good name for you.
Is it Osma?
Oops.
Silent Hunter. There you go.
Love it.
He's a beat up old shark. And then I have also this one,
Lady Bolton.
Lady Bolton.
Very nice.
Lady Bolton, and then Paula Victoria's in here. We got Paula, and we got
Wow.
Michaela. We have the whole family in here. Different
That
sharks.
is amazing. Very cool.
So okay, to get back to the question, how that comes up is that when a person like myself or whoever, I'm out on an expedition, I'm working, I see sharks. I said, "Shit, this is a new shark. I've never seen a shark before." So I will take pictures of it. I'll get pictures, and I'll send it in to our people here in Marine Conservation Institute. It's the Marine Conservation Science Institute, the white sharks of Guadalupe Island. And they will go through it, and they'll say, "Hey, Mike, this is a new shark, man. It's yours. What are you going to do with it?"
Cool. So you,
You know,
Excellent.
so they'll put a number. They'll put a number to it, and I'll name it. You know, like I'll name Rappin' Rascals next year. The
I
shark
like
named
it.
Rappin'. Because
Yes.
I see him coming in like this.
We'll make it-
Rappin'. I'll say
that's
that's
us.
Rappin' Rascals.
That's got to be us.
That's right.
I love it.
Well,
And, name it. So yeah, that's how it is. Now get back to what the girl asked. Yes, every year on eBay is during the Shark Week, the Shark Week
Uh-huh.
time, is that we'll have on eBay a couple of sharks that goes into the foundation that you can go and bid to be able to add a name to a shark.
Incredible. So you don't. There's no guidelines. It's like when there's a new shark, they let you name it, but you don't. It could be any name that you put into it. And, okay,
You put any name you want.
I like it.
Put any name you want. If it has a name,
McRapScallion.
But I mean, there's a lot of sharks. Yeah, there's a lot of sharks that are new sharks to the area each year, but they only end up with numbers because we really don't. They were just identified because nobody really claimed it because we just put in these pictures. But if I found like a special shark that I want, like Lady Bolton, when I saw her, she was all over me. She said, she said, "Mike, did you see that beautiful shark? Such a female. She's so perfect. She's beautiful." I said, "Yeah, I got her. I took a lot of pictures of her. She's beautiful, man. And she was a beautiful shark." And then she said, "You got to give that to Becky." I said, "Yeah, I'll make it Lady Bolton." So I checked her out, and she was a new shark. We had never saw her. So she's a new one to Guadalupe Island. So at that moment, they tell you, yes, it is a new shark.
That's very cool.
Wow.
Well,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
HB, we should start like a naming convention for a less dangerous animal. So I think you and I should start identifying ants
iguanas
and
and
naming
ants.
them, or iguanas.
Well, we have
Yeah.
we had a poll for our chickens. Our chickens got named by the Rapscallions family. One of them is Margaret Hatcher.
That's right.
And also the sheep got named by the poll. One of them is Joe's goddaughter, Agnes. So we
Agnes.
like the naming. The Rapscallions like the naming. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
We got to work on that. We also got it. Well, I'll give you a couple of tiger sharks. We got a tiger shark, big tiger shark. Did you saw a picture of me with a big tiger shark there?
Let's see if I can find it here.
I think it was. I'll show you right here. I think you got it. Right here. Let me see.
Oh, I can't find it.
Her name. I got it here. It's not right here. Right here.
Oof, that's a big one. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh
Man,
my
that's
goodness.
massive.
Beautiful.
Where's- See,
Look at that tail.
I don't know. Wow.
Okay, that's
Where was this
Emma.
picture taken at? The
Comes in the
Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Emma is massive.
Yeah, she's a big lady.
Beautiful lady.
Wow. So yeah.
Here's what I'll show you some. Here's what an oceanic white-tip looks like pregnant. You can just see how big they get.
That's a big sucker.
Oh,
Those are a
man.
lot bigger than the coral
Yeah,
white
it
tips
is.
that I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can see how fat. Mine the weight
Yeah.
against it.
That's a pregnant lady. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is a big oceanic. See how big they get. But yeah, this is Oh, but yeah, what were we saying?
No, we're talking about naming and tiger sharks.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Emma was huge.
Do we have another tiger shark? It's called Buttface.
So you did name a shark after me, after all.
I did. I was going. Hey,
All right.
hey, you know what? I got ahead of myself because I was going to say, just by coincidence, Joe, I got a shark I named after you. It was just by mistake. You were going to say, really? What? Tell me.
Butt face.
Yeah.
Butt
Buttface.
face.
Because he's got such a nose, it comes in when you're looking down on him. It's got like
Okay.
this, you know.
He's got like a. He's got the.
Ah.
It's got.
He got a crease
got
where the
a-
Lord split him.
It's got. I don't have. That's right. I don't have a picture of him with me, but I can't get it. But anyway, but he's been noted of killing somebody.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wait, is that for real, or are you just yanking our chain?
No, for real, for real.
Okay.
And there was we lost a couple of divers off of the Bahamas with tigers, and one was actually I think went in and actually hit my but tigers have a way, and Buttface famous for that. You know, coming around from you, coming up in the back, coming for your tank in the back, and because they're
Oh, wow.
really ambush hunters, and they love to circle from behind. And if you're watching him, if you keep an eye on him, he won't move. He'll follow you. If you turn your back like this, boom, he'll turn and come right over you.
Really? Whoa, that's crazy.
They know what they're doing. And he hit the guy here for the tank because they grabbed the tank and he hit a couple of things here. And already
Oh my
over.
goodness. He went in for the long sleep then. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're hitting up 2.5 hours now. We're gonna wrap it up, Mike. It's been more than a pleasure. It's been amazing. We have the looking at the
It
pictures. The audience participation's been incredible too. We're gonna have you back
Yeah.
on another day. Maybe you and Al Sprague can come on and tell us some of your stories. That would be an entertaining show. Is
Seriously.
Oh my God.
It'd be a
It'd be-
fight. You
it'd be a
guys will
fight.
be wrestling on screen. Is there any parting words you want to give the audience about your love of sharks?
Well, I mean, I love sharks. They're my life. I do enjoy it. I always joke with Paula and my wife and him. I always saying, you know what? You know, I would rather be here. I mean, I'd rather be taken by it. Because you asked me once before about what they think about me. Sometimes I showed a video once to my daughter, and she to Paula once. And Paula, let me show you this video. It was a little bit hairy video, a little bit too crazy. And she said, Dad, I'm really not liking this anymore. I'm really not liking this anymore. You're getting older and you're not as fast as things. I mean, I did get caught off guard. I got hit. So it was, I mean, I just the other day I got hit by a bull so hard, so hard, so bad. And a big bull hit me in the back, full on, about an 800-900 pound bull, just rammed me back, and it hit me right in the kidney. I just I thought I was done in, but I was looking for the blood to come out because they say you really never feel the bite, you just feel the pressure.
But he bumped
That's
you?
what I
Or?
felt. But anyway, I always say, it just hit me. No, it hit me, come up from behind me. There was about 8 or 9 big bulls, and he circling from behind, and he came up from behind and he got that body contact that he shouldn't have got. But he got me from behind because they're ambush hunters, and he hit me from behind, and I guess he was hitting me before he bit, thank God. But he hit me right in the kidney, right in, when you get hit there, it's like, oh, fuck. I would drop my camera, and I was free diving. I was about 60 feet, and I was coming up. I was coming up slowly, just filming, and I was out of breath, and it just, boom! Fuck! The guy down below me, he was looking up at me.
Oh, man.
Shit. I thought he hit you. But he just hit me. But anyway, I would rather be hitting. I think I'd rather go out being taken by a shark than, I guess, to bleed out. I guess that's the easiest way to say. at your old age that have died
Right.
of cancer or some shitty other disease.
Yeah.
Laid in the bed. I mean, Mike Bolton got to go out with style. You can't just lay down. There's got to be a
Exactly.
story there, guys.
Mm.
You know, like I always say, see the shark on me, keep filming. Don't stop the camera. Get it, for old time's sake.
Get the
Get that
shot.
shot. But
Get the shot.
But yeah, I think, and I always say that once they put me in that urn and burn me, just put me in a tuna, take me out to Guadalupe, stuff my ashes in the tuna, let it go.
Away you go.
Pick that big great white to come in and take it. And from there on,
Wow.
I like that. I think that's a unique way to a unique burial
Yeah.
at sea is digesting in the belly of a great white.
Most definitely.
All right.
Most
Well,
definitely.
thanks
Okay,
again,
Joe.
Mike. You have anything to add, Joe, before we sign off?
No, just thank you so much. Just sharing time with you, the stories, the pictures, everything has been incredible. And like HB said, I can't wait till we can have you on the show again in the future so we can
Yeah.
keep telling some stories because I'm sure you must have a billion more that we haven't heard.
talk about Coivo and you
Yeah.
a whole spirit on that. All right, guys. Well, when we get this thing going with the new documentary, hopefully we can get together
That'd be
too and
great.
talk about that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I want to say thank you. I got Caroline Schmidt from Eco TV, Medcom.
Right.
She's working with me on this documentary very strongly, giving us a big help. They're going to show the first Apex Survival maiden voyage in Panama. We're putting it on subtitles, so it'll be shown in Panama with trailer of
Oh,
the
excellent.
upcoming Panama. And then if I live to be 80, I will be in Mozambique doing Apex Survival 3 in
Wow.
Mozambique, South.
Incredible. Well, it sounds exciting. I
Excellent.
can't
We
wait. I
look
can't
forward
wait
to
to
hearing about
watch
that,
this.
without a doubt.
Watch this story keep unfolding. Well, all right.
Okay,
Mhm,
sir.
for sure.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy I reached out to you. I was sort of blowing my own horn there, but I wanted to meet you guys because in Coiba, I said there's not too many people that know the stories, and I really wanted to
Well,
meet you
yeah,
guys.
you know, that's funny that we had so much to
Well,
talk
thank
about.
you
We didn't
so
even
much.
talk about how we linked up for this show. So we'll keep that in the can for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll keep it in the
Excellent.
Thanks again, Mike Bolton. Thank you, Joe. And we'll be seeing you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Got to get a coffee sometime.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Here's to the
Love you
crowd.
people. Bye-bye.
Bye.